Wildcat Stadium in Cassville, Missouri. The Wildcats hosting the Reed Spring Wolves tonight, week number 8 of the high school football season. Only 1 week left after tonight in the regular season, and then it's on to the district playoffs. We'll check the district standings here in just a moment. In Class 3 District 6, both Cassville and Reed Spring, a member of that district. It's also senior night here tonight as the senior football players, cheerleaders, and band members being recognized in ceremonies prior to tonight's contest. A beautiful night for high school football, not a cloud in the sky. The rain is not expected to come in until late tonight, early Saturday, so we should have a beautiful evening. Temperature's going to dip down into the 50s before this one's all over with here this evening in Cassville. Glad to be along with you. Sammy Clapper, Jeremy Marple back here on the radio. Todd Speakman running the camera for us on CassvilleWebTV.com. And here we are, Jeremy, week number 8. Just 2 weeks left in the regular season. It's on to the district playoffs. Big games here in the last couple of weeks for Cassville, not only in the conference but also in the district standings. And it begins here tonight, senior night, the final home game of the regular season, and the Reed Spring Wolves have come to town.
Yeah, it's just, all teams continue to jockey for position in that district standing, and Wildcats still have their hat in the ring for the Big 8 West title. So important games when you start looking at those things as far as the conference and then moving on into this district.
Looking at the other Big 8 games tonight, another team that's vying for the Big 8 West title, Monette, they are at McDonald County tonight. Seneca is at East Newton this evening. Lamar at Nevada, Springfield Catholic at Mount Vernon, and Hollister at Rogersville this evening. So a lot going on, not only in the conference but also in district play here in week number 8.
Yeah, and it just, these games get more important every week, and we talk about it each week, how really starting in week 1, everybody's looking for those district seeds, and now we're getting right up against it, and it's getting real right now.
You look at the district, Class 3 District 6, Mount Vernon, the number 1 seed. They're the only unbeaten at 7-0. Cassville, the number 2 seed at 6-1. Monette, 5-2. They're in the number 3 spot. Reed Spring, the number 4 seed right now at 4-3. Seneca right behind them, only trailing them by looks like less than a point. As Seneca also 4-3 in the number 5 spot in the district. Hollister 3-4 at the number 6 seed. Aurora 1-6 there in the 7 seed, and Nevada 0-7 on the year. They're in the number 8 seed. So Cassville, Monette, Reed Spring, the 2, 3, 4, they're all looking up right now at Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon in an interesting game tonight at home against Springfield Catholic. And, of course, we've got Cassville and Reed Spring, 2 of the top 4 seeds going head-to-head here tonight.
Wildcats going to try to take care of business tonight. The goal obviously is the 1 seed, but second best is getting one of those top 4 seeds. As it stands right now, district title would go through Mount Vernon as long as they continued to win. But top 4 seeds, that's, if you can't be the number 1 seed, those top 4, that's really where you want to be.
Yeah, because the top 4 seed, you get a home game in the first round of the district playoffs. If you're a top 1 or 2 seed and you make it through the first round, you're going to get a home game in the second round. And, of course, that number 1 seed, they're going to have home field advantage all the way through the district.
Right, and Cassville sitting in a nice spot right now. They obviously have to take care of business tonight and next week, but sitting in that 2 seed wouldn't be a terrible place to be at the end of this thing.
Tonight's broadcast of Wildcat Football brought to you in part by Tomblin's Jewelry on the northeast corner of the square in Cassville. Remember to order your art-carved and gold lance class rings at affordable prices at Tomblin's Jewelry and Gifts on the square in Cassville. Also on the square in Cassville, Sports World. If you need screen printing and embroidery done on jackets, sports uniforms, T-shirts, caps, maybe you're looking for some trophies for your team, sporting goods, or school athletic clothing, they have it all at Sports World. 709 Main Street in Cassville. Call 417-847-5366. Again, it's senior night here at Cassville. All the seniors, football players, cheerleaders, and band members being recognized. It'll give us an opportunity to continue on with the pregame here. We'll take a quick break and let you hear from some more of our sponsors of Wildcat Football, and then be back with more. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Holds or strikes, fouls or flags. Your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind when you attend a sporting event. After all, respecting officials and authority figures are one of life's most valuable lessons that we can teach our young students. Sportsmanship Reminder brought to you by Access Family Care with locations in Cassville, Monette, and Neosho. Access Family Care bringing you the Sportsmanship Reminder. Cassville comes in with a record of 6-1. Their only loss back in week number 4 when they fell on the road to Seneca 28-21. The Indians coming from behind and winning in the fourth quarter. Since then, they have run off 3 consecutive victories over East Newton, McDonald County, and Nevada, all by sizable margins. Reed Spring 4-3, and they've been quite the up and down this year. They had a big win to open the season, scoring 61 points against Nevada. Had a tight game against Seneca. They also lost that game in the second half. It was back and forth between Seneca and Reed Spring, but the Indians were able to score late and beat the Wolves just 28-16. Then they come back and beat Rogersville, get shut out by Mount Vernon. Then they beat Springfield Catholic. And then last week, they only scored 7 points against Marshfield. Now, they've been dealing with some injuries, but boy, the roller coaster ride they've been on this year has been something to see.
Yeah, and you go through that schedule, and it just kind of looks like they've won against the teams that they were supposed to beat, and struggled against the teams that the better teams in the conference. And on paper tonight, the Wildcats look to have the stronger team, and hopefully what we see out here tonight is Wildcats come out and play like the better team.
And having to deal with injuries, of course, Cassville has had some injuries of their own, but when you have to deal with those injuries from week to week, that affects your football team. And Reed Spring has definitely had it affect them. One week they look like they're one of the contenders in the Big 8 East or the district, and the next week they look like they're one of the bottom half teams. So you never know what to expect from Friday night to Friday night.
No, you really don't. And just through the week, you have conversations, and people, what do you think about this week? And this one was really kind of a tough one to call, because you just really don't know what you're going to get out of Reed Spring. They certainly have athletes. Looking at them warm up down here, they've got some size and certainly have some speed. So it's a Big 8 conference game, and either team can win on a Friday night, and Wildcats are going to have to be ready to go tonight.
Well, it's time for tonight's Wildcat Keys to Victory, brought to you by Wesco Home Furnishings. Mark Whitwire and the crew at Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville are looking forward to another great season of Wildcat football. And just like the quality portrayed by each Wildcat player on the field, Wesco offers that same quality merchandise and customer service. Well, the first key to a victory is something you just touched on, and you mentioned about Reed Spring having a lot of athletes. Limiting the big plays, because we've seen Reed Spring do that in the past against Cassville and hurt them with the big plays. And I think with their athletic ability, even though their line play is somewhat questionable from week to week, you never know exactly what you're getting there. You've got to be able to limit those big plays by those skilled players.
Well, for most of the season, the Wildcats have done a pretty good job in the run game. They've had some chinks in the passing game. Last week, we saw Nevada move the football on a couple lengthy drives that ended up in points in the run game. So I'm sure the Wildcats have worked on that through the week, but they're going to have to, first and foremost, stop the run, stay in front of these speedy backs that Reeds is going to bring in here tonight. Another thing I think, Sammy, that is kind of it's one of those that's not going to show up on paper, but a key for these seniors. It's an emotional night. It's senior night. It's your last regular season game on this football field, and the seniors are going to be amped up, ready to go tonight. And one of the keys, in my opinion, is for them to stay within, not try to do too much tonight, and just play hard-nosed football.
Another thing that we've seen Cassville do over the years against Reed Spring, sometimes we said the big plays have hurt them, but on the other side of that, when Cassville has been able to force Reed Spring to drive the ball 80, 90 yards, they have had success. So I think that's going to be a key tonight. The battle of field position, keep Reed Spring pinned deep in their own territory.
Yeah, and fortunately for the Wildcats, they've got a weapon in the kicking game that most of the time is able to force the opposition to start at the 20. But you're right, field position is going to be key tonight.
Again, tonight's Wildcat Keys to Victory brought to you by Mark and the gang at Wesco Home Furnishings. They invite you to stop by and view their wide selection of furniture, mattresses, and appliances at 109 West 8th Street in Cassville. You can also find them online at wescohome.com. Cassville Marching Band out on the field getting ready for the national anthem. We're still about 15, 16 minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff between the Wildcats and the Wolves. They've already recognized all of the seniors, and pregame festivities here tonight. The lights are taking full effect at Wildcat Stadium as the days continue to get shorter and shorter. The sun has already went down, but we've got a beautiful evening, a nice, cool, clear October evening for high school football here tonight in week number 8 of the season. Tonight's national anthem is brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix. For all of your ready mix, stone, or aggregate needs, stop by Berry County Ready Mix at any of their convenient locations. Shell Knob, Cassville, or Eagle Rock. You can reach their Cassville office, 847-3200, for a free estimate today. We'll take a break and be back right after this. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back at Cassville, the Wildcats hosting the Reed Spring Wolves here tonight. Big 8 Conference football, a crossover game between the Big 8 West Cassville Wildcats and the Big 8 East Reed Spring Wolves. Tonight's starting lineup for the Wildcats brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Start off with the defense for the Wildcats. At defensive tackles, they will start Jacob Hall, a 5'8", 250 senior, and Garrett Kreitz, a 6', 290 sophomore. The defensive ends, Jaden Rybert, 6'2", 230 junior, and Andrew Pryor, 6'2", 200-pound senior. The linebackers for the Wildcats, Carson Jacobson, 5'10", 150 senior, Zach Kanan, 5'11", 190 junior, and Jacob Olberts, a 5'10", 170-pound senior. The corners for the Wildcats, Jerome Ewing, 5'9", 150 junior, and DJ White, 6'1", 190 senior. Strong safety, Jericho Ferris, 5'10", 180 junior. Free safety, Cade Hayward, a 5'8", 145-pound senior. On the offensive side for Cassville at quarterback, Devin Bates. He is a 5'9", 145-pound senior. Devin on the season has run for nearly 250 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's also thrown for 791 yards and 8 touchdowns. Running backs, Bowen Preddy, 6'1", 180 senior. Bowen has 489 yards rushing and 9 rushing touchdowns. He also has a touchdown reception. He'll be joined in the backfield by Zach Kanan, 5'11", 190-pound junior. Zach has 496 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. He also has a touchdown reception on the year. The wide receivers for the Wildcats, Spencer Moeller, a 5'8", 160-pound junior, and DJ White had a big night last week when he caught 5 passes for 160 yards and a touchdown. DJ White is a 6'1", 190 senior. On the year, DJ has hauled in 513 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns. Tight end will be Killian Barbie, a 6'2", 190-pound junior. Right tackle, Hunter Chastain, 6'1", 225-pound junior. Right guard, Jaden Rybert, 6'2", 230 junior. The center for the Wildcats, Troy Hagans, 5'11", 210 senior. Left guard, Nate Boley, 5'10", 210 senior. And the left tackle, Zane Gray, a 5'10", 275-pound senior. Again, the Wildcats starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip. Whether you're looking for fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, ice cream, snacks, they have it all at the very best prices. Fast Trip, 104 South Main in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Well, the tunnel is being formed in anticipation of the Wildcats coming out of the field house, out of the southeast corner of the end zone. Reed Spring still in the locker room as they go over their last-minute discussions before we start tonight's game. Cassville coached by Lance Parnell and Reed Spring coached by Lance Gosh. So a couple of Lances, the head coaches. And, of course, Gosh, a familiar name here at Cassville. Brett Gosh was the head coach of the Wildcats several years ago. And there is some relativity involved there between Lance and Brett. So it's funny, we talked about how so many Big 8 conference coaches that were assistants are now head coaches in the league. We've got one down at McDonald County. We've got one over at East Newton. We've got a Cassville or a coach at Monette that's been both here at Cassville and Monette. So many coaches continue to rotate around through the league. And then you've got familiar names of coaches throughout the league as well. This Big 8 conference, and we brag on it all the time, and we're a little biased, but as far as Class 3, there are a couple of Class 4 schools in the Big 8, but as far as Class 3, I feel it's the best in the state.
Well, week in and week out, I think you're right. Very competitive. This conference this year, not quite as top-heavy as it has been in the past. You've got
a little more balance this year.
It really is. You've got 4 or 5, maybe 5 teams in this conference now, all battling for those top spots. Where, in the past, 1 or 2, and a lot of times here recently, it's gone through Lamar. But this year, it's a little bit different. A little more parity in the conference, but. Not to take anything away from the conference. The conference is still very strong. It's just other teams are catching up a little bit, and it's just a really solid. And hey, when you talk about the Big 8 conference, there's a reason they didn't change the name when they expanded and added 14 teams. There's a reason they didn't change the name from the Big 8 conference, because that name recognition is so strong throughout this state.
Yeah, last year the Big 8 East, there was co-champs between Springfield Catholic and Mount Vernon. And now Mount Vernon had beat Springfield Catholic, but they didn't take the head-to-head into consideration. They just went with the conference record. Cassville was the unbeaten Big 8 West champs a year ago. But you look at it this year, Mount Vernon's leading the East right now. But there could possibly be a tri-champ in the West this year. You've got Monette, Seneca, and Cassville all right up there tied for the lead going into the final 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, a little more top-heavy in the East with the Mountaineers, but here in the West, very, very difficult schedule to get through unscathed. And as you look at the records for all the teams, nobody's made it through undefeated this year. So it's a very tough conference.
Cassville wearing the black jerseys, black helmets. They've got the gold pants with the black stripe down the side and the gold numbers on the front and back. Reed Spring, white jerseys, gray pants, red numbers, and white helmets with the wolf on one side and the number of their jersey on the other side of their white helmets. So both teams have made it out to the field. We will go through the preliminaries with the officiating crew. They'll get the two coaches and the team captains and have the coin toss. And while we're doing all that, we'll step aside and take another opportunity to get some words from our sponsors of tonight's broadcast. You're listening to Cassville Wildcat Football here on the Talon Network. The Wildcats have won the opening toss, and they have deferred their option to the second half. So Reed Spring will be getting the football to start tonight's football game between Cassville and the Wolves. Wildcats kicking off here to start, and the Wildcat kickoff brought to you as always by Baywash Car Wash. Come try out the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic featuring custom wash technology, giving you the perfect wash every time. With Baywash, a clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Tonight's first quarter is brought to you by Michael's Hardware. 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. And if you're needing mums for your fall decorating, they have mums of all sizes and colors. They also have a nice selection of pumpkins in several sizes as well. So come by Michael's Hardware for your fall decorating needs. If you need hardware to fix or for your project, they can get you a project or get you materials to complete your project and make it a winner. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. Drake Reese tees it up at the 40-yard line, and the Wolves will drop back. Easton Byrne. And the kick is angled towards the right hash, and it will go over the return men into the end zone for a touchback. So the Wolves will start the night at their own 20-yard line.
And as you spoke in the pregame, Sammy, when the Wildcats in the past have been able to force the Bulldogs to travel the length of the football field, they've had much more success, as we see right here in the opening kickoff. Kick it into the end zone. They're going to start at the 20.
So the Wolves break huddle, come up to the line of scrimmage, and we are just about ready to have the first snap of the night between Cassville and Reed Spring. Sean Gross, the quarterback for the Wolves, and they run the ball between the tackles on first down. And the ball carrier takes it out to the 21-yard line for a short gain. And the ball carrier there on first down was Colton Cramblett. Cramblett, a junior, and he picks up a yard on his first carry of the night.
Another offense with a couple of wing backs. We're going to see some motion and misdirection in the backfield.
Quarterback is up under center. They've got the single back in the backfield and two flankers, and they hand off to Cramblett once again. This time he goes off left tackle, and he plows his way out to the 28, maybe the 29-yard line. Looks like they're going to put him down at the 29 for a gain of 8, and it'll bring up 3rd and 1.
Same play, just off the other hip of the center, and much more success that time right at this Wildcat defense.
So here we go, our first third down conversion try of the night. 3rd and 1 at their own 29. They overload the left side, and they run the ball that way. And the pile moves forward across the 30, and they have enough for the first down as they just push ahead, and Cramblett is able to pick up a couple of yards out to the 31. It'll be first down, Reed Spring.
Now this offense, as they approach the line of scrimmage, the splits between each lineman very narrow. They're nearly foot to foot. Everybody packed in there real tight.
They bring a man in motion. They fake the handoff up the middle. They pitch the ball out wide. Trying to get to the edge is J.T. Bailiff. And Cassville does a nice job running him towards the sidelines. Bailiff is able to move ahead to the 34, but it's only a gain of 3, and it'll bring up second down.
A pretty good job on the corner over here. DJ White able to take on his blocker, force a ball carrier on over near the sideline. Jericho Ferris, safety over there to upend the ball carrier at the end of the play.
So second down and long facing the Wolves. First drive of the night. 2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. They shift strong side to the left, and they send a receiver out that way. Man goes in motion, and they give it to Cramblett. Cramblett had to nearly tear the ball away from the quarterback on that call, as the man in motion was Matt Allison, but Cramblett is able to push his way out to the 39 as he picks up about 4 or 5 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Cramblett, they've used him just straight ahead. I mean, right at the defense, and I tell you what, he gets there in a hurry. He's through that line of scrimmage like a rocket. Kanan able to bring him down at the end of the run.
They don't have weights of their players on their roster, but you can tell that Colton Cramblett, pretty powerful running back. They give the end around this time, and Cassville smells it out. The Wildcat defense all over on the end around play by the Wolves, as Bailiff that time is smothered under back at the 37-yard line. They spot him the 38, so it's not quite as big a loss as what it initially appeared, but still a loss of 1, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, really nice job that time. This Wildcat defense staying disciplined, staying home, not taking the flow away from the action as it came right back to him.
DJ White drops back at his own 25, awaiting the kick, and the Wildcats block it. It was a snap that was a little bit offline, and the punter, Al Chavez, had to move over to his right to field the snap, and by the time he got the ball and attempted to punt it, Cassville was in there, and they blocked the kick and take over at the Reed Spring 35.
A rugby-style punt right there as he's leaking to his right. The Wildcats bringing pressure from that side. Jerome Ewing actually drove his blocker back into the football. That ball actually hit the leg of a Reed Spring blocker. Great job there by Ewing.
So 1st and 10, Cassville. Big momentum shift here early on. Cassville forces Reed Spring to punt, and then they block that kick. And on 1st down, the Wildcats run the ball right behind their offensive line. Zach Kanan gets the call, and he moves it down to the 32-yard line, picks up 3 yards.
Yeah, special teams so important in football. They can be taken for granted, but I tell you what, they can make or break you in a football game. Right now, they've given the Wildcats great field position to start this drive.
Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. Give your to-do list a game plan that's sure to be a winner. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. 2nd down and 7 for Cassville. Split backfield. They give it to Kanan again. No, they pitch it out to Preddy. They fake the handoff to Kanan, pitch it wide to Preddy, and he powers his way down to the 30, gains 2 more yards, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, as we see right here, we see how well Reed Spring moves on defense. Very quick. They look like they have several guys that can get sideline to sideline. Going to be tough to stretch the football to the sideline and turn the corner.
So Cassville now faced with their first 3rd down situation of the night. Reed Spring was able to convert on one. They failed on their other. And Cassville facing 3rd and 5 from the Reed Spring 30. They go unbalanced left. Bates rolling that direction, throws to White. He's got open downfield. He goes up in the air and makes the catch at the 5-yard line. DJ White had a defender right in his face, but he went up over the top of him and hauls it in at the 4-yard line. 1st and goal, Cassville.
Yeah, a little roll out to the left. Nice throw there by Bates, just letting his receiver make a play on the football. One-on-one coverage down there. You like your chances with White as he showed his athleticism, showed some of that basketball skill to go up and high point that football and bring it down.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store. Brand name appliances like Kenmore, Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, and GE, all located at 99 Highway 37 South in Cassville. They run the option. They pitch it to Preddy. The ball nearly got through his hands, and by the time he got control of it, Reed Spring again doing a nice job, what you'd pointed out, a lot of speed out there on the edge, and they chase Preddy down, and it will be a loss back to the 5.
Preddy not getting a solid handle on the pitch allowed that defense to catch up to him. If he catches that football in stride, going to be a little different story, but the Wolves catch a break right there.
This drive into the red zone by the Wildcats brought to you by Roark Diesel. Since 2006, they've been providing a huge selection of diesel performance products to Cassville and the surrounding area. Find them online at roarkdiesel.com or call 847-6560. I formation behind Bates. They give it to Preddy. Kanan leading the way. Preddy trying to get to the edge, but he has to stop and cut it back up at the hash, and Reed Spring again in there to drop Preddy for a loss, and this time it's a loss of 2 back to the 7. So right now, Cassville going the wrong direction. It was 1st and goal from the 4. It's now 3rd and goal from the 7.
Yeah, a little uncharacteristic of what we normally see from this Wildcat football team, especially when they have the Rhino package in. They typically go right at the defense. These 2 plays, the Wildcats trying to get to the edge.
6:10 left to go here in the first quarter. We're halfway through quarter number 1. Bates this time operating from the shotgun. He's got Preddy off his right hip. Brings White in motion, rolls that direction, pressure in his face, throws down to the goal line, up in the air, and coming down with it in the end zone, DJ White. Touchdown, Cassville.
Well, they brought White in motion from left to right, took the snap. Bates just kind of rolled out to his right, let White make a move on his man. Ball was delivered up in the air. Goes DJ White to snatch it. Great play right there for the Wildcats.
Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance, one of the area's oldest businesses, conveniently located on the square in Cassville and in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Stop by or call 847-3300. Willis Insurance, your trusted choice insurance agent. The Wildcat Extra Point try by Drake Reese is on the way and good. The Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Crowder College, the main campus in Neosho, a satellite campus in Cassville. You can find out more about Crowder College, class information, and enrollment information by going online, crowder.edu. So with 5:54 left to go in the first quarter, Cassville on the board first. They lead it 7-0. After a block kick, 6 plays, 35 yards, and a 7-yard touchdown pass from Devin Bates to DJ White.
Big special teams play, led to short field, great field position. The Wildcats able to work it down. A couple of big pass plays there. DJ White into the end zone. Nice first series for this Wildcat football team.
So Drake Reese will once again kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. They have the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic custom wash technology, giving you the perfect wash every time at Baywash. Clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. And that's what you'll get at Baywash Car Wash in Cassville. Bailiff back deep for the Wolves, awaiting the kick of Reese. Gets a line drive kick away this time, and it will go past Bailiff and Solace and into the end zone for another touchback.
Again, Reese able to give his defense a lot of field to work with right here and really make life difficult for the Wolves. Anytime a team has to travel a long distance to put points on the board, there's a lot of things that can happen. And especially when you're dealing with a high school offense, a lot of bad things can happen when they have to travel 80 yards.
Sean Gross brings his team up to the line of scrimmage. Man starts in motion, stops, and the Wolves reset. They're unbalanced right at this time with the receiver split wide to the left. And now they send a man in motion to the left. They hand the ball off to Cramblett, who had some success running the ball the first possession, but this time he runs into a wall of black jerseys, and he is going to be dropped after a pickup of only a couple of yards.
Yeah, Cramblett, you look at his lower half and thick legs, and you see the speed, the burst that he has out of his three-point stance. It gets right to that line of scrimmage. A really nice job that time of the interior of the defensive line for the Wildcats.
Receiver this time is Colton Gutting, and he goes wide to the right side. They check to the sideline, get the play call sent in. Still plenty of time on the play clock, down to 10 seconds. Gross is up under center, and he's going to run it himself. Fakes the handoff, makes a man miss at the corner, and takes it out across the 30 to the 31 and picks up a first down. So Sean Gross, the quarterback that time, with the quarterback keeper, picks up 9 yards.
A good play there. Hayward coming in to bring the ball carrier down. Ferris had a nice read on the play. Just came in a little out of control, shot right by the ball carrier. Nice move to hit the brakes and get going again. Hayward saving a big gain there.
Again, if you're needing mums, we're getting midway through the month of October, so hurry into Michael's Hardware at 186 Sale Barn Road. They have mums of all sizes and colors, but I'm sure the supplies are starting to be limited now as we're getting later in the season. Back to Cramblett, and Colton Cramblett takes it right up the middle of the field and powers his way across the 35 out to the 37, picks up 6 yards, and it'll bring up second down and 4.
Well, early in the football game, the Wolves not worry about changing what they're doing offensively. They're going to keep attacking this Wildcat defense, try to soften them up.
We're down to 4:15 left to go in the opening quarter. Cassville leading 7-0. Man comes in motion, now stops, and that's JT Bailiff. Now they go the other direction with motion, and Gross is going to keep it himself behind the lead block of Matt Allison, the motion man. And Gross dives across the 40 out to the 43 and does pick up the first down.
A lot of things going on in that backfield, Sammy. You're looking for some tells in that offensive line. Might be doing a nice job right now, giving some false reads to the linebackers, but overall, typically, those linebackers are going to be able to get reads generally out from the guards and make plays.
Gross this time pitches the ball as he goes wide to Allison, and Allison trying to get to the corner, but he is run down by linebacker Zach Kanan. Allison is able to make it out to the 48-yard line for a gain of 5, and it'll bring up second down and 5 for Reed Spring.
Reed Spring moving the football, staying ahead of the chains right here, eating up a lot of clock. That's what they want to do. They want to keep this Wildcat offense off the field. 2 weeks in a row, Wildcats put 40-plus points on the board offensively. If the Wolves can keep that offense off the field, it's in their advantage.
Well, Reed Spring, the first time, had to face 2 third downs, and they ended up having to punt. This time, they have not faced a third down yet. It's second down and 5 at their own 48. Gross pitches the ball to Allison. It goes behind him. A scramble for it. Zach Kanan in the backfield, and he dives on the loose football, and a turnover against the Wolves.
Sammy, I watched the Wolves running this little option pitch game in warm-up against nobody, and I saw them twice in the pitch game put the ball on the ground. This time we see it live action. Kanan right there was blowing the play up, saw the ball on the ground, got on top of it. Big play defensively. 2 series in a row, Wildcats have had big plays either from special teams or now their defense.
And again, they get to start at the 35-yard line. This is where they started after the block punt. Now after the fumble recovery, again at the Reed Spring 35. Killian Barbie, the tight end, goes from the left side around to the right side. I formation behind Bates. They give to the tailback, and that's Ferris now back there dotting the I. And he'll take it off right tackle, weaves his way down to the 31-yard line, picks up 4 yards.
Ferris, junior running back, really come into his own the last 3 weeks, starting to run the football much harder, really hitting the hole with aggression, lowering those shoulders, getting behind those pads, running hard.
We're down to 2.5 left to go in the first quarter. Cassville with a 7-0 lead, and the Wildcats at the Reed Spring 31-yard line, facing 2nd down and 6. They stay with the I formation. They've got receivers split right and left. That's DJ White and Drake Reese. They give to the fullback this time, and Kanan powers his way up the middle and then tries to break it outside. Drags a couple of tacklers along for the ride down to the 26-yard line. And this is going to be very close. It looks like they're going to mark him just short, and it'll bring up 3rd down and less than a yard.
Kanan very strong. Got through some traffic right there at the line of scrimmage, able to bust out of that, get into the linebacking core. Another good, strong run by Kanan.
So 3rd and 1 at the Reed Spring 26. They split the backfield this time, and Bates gives it right up the middle. A big hole, the surge from the offensive line, and Kanan has more than enough for the first down as he takes it all the way down to the 21 or 22-yard line.
Yeah, you really like to see that. That place in particular, that Wildcat offensive line came off the football. Defensive line of the Wolves were kind of on skates, just moving backward down the field. Kanan got right in behind that, running hard. Nice play right there. That's power football.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store. They offer the best quality brand name appliances, power tools, lawnmowers, fitness equipment, and much more. Come by and get to know them. Bates now throwing the football. He gets White, who breaks away from 2 defenders and takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Cassville. DJ White caught the ball, got sandwiched, somehow kept his balance. The 2 defenders fell to the ground, and White spins off the contact and takes it in for the touchdown.
As Bates took the snap, he looked. White had beat the corner and cut across his face. The safety was creeping over. Bates put the football, did not run his receiver into the safety. He put it kind of back on his hip so he would hit the brakes to catch the football. As he did, the safety arrived in the corner. And as you said, they kind of sandwiched right there. White, a nice little spin move and on into the end zone. Great individual effort and a nice throw. Really, the throw made that. You throw the football, you keep your receiver, number 1, from getting killed by the safety. And number 2, he lives to break a tackle and score and find his way to the end zone.
Yeah, I think by the way it all played out, the 2 defenders actually hit each other harder than they hit DJ
Right.
White, and that's what made him bounce off of him and fall to the ground, and he was able to take it in. Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. For auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance, see the folks at Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville or in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Stop by and get a quote today. Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Crowder College. Find out more by going online, crowder.edu. And Drake Reese ready to kick it away again, his 3rd kickoff of the night, and we're still in the first quarter. Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Baywash Car Wash in Cassville. 6 plays, 35 yards, first possession. After the fumble, they take it 35 yards in 4 plays, 22-yard pass completion from Devin Bates to DJ White for the touchdown, and now Drake Reese booms this one high and deep, and this one is nearly out the back of the end zone. It bounced about 9 yards deep and then skipped into the bleachers outside the north end zone.
Yeah, the folks sitting in the bleachers back there probably didn't think they would have to worry about getting hit by a football tonight. With Reese kicking, you never know. And you're right, he sent that all the way to the back of the end zone there.
So Reed Spring will take over at their own 20 with 1:03 left to go here in the first quarter. Cassville leading 14-0. Sean Gross, quarterback, brings Allison in motion, fakes the handoff to Cramblett up the middle, going to try to run it himself. Trying to get to the outside. He takes it across the 25, and a good strong run by Sean Gross, senior quarterback for the Wolves, as he powers his way all the way out to the 28. A gain of 8 on first down. Gross now 23 yards unofficially on 3 carries.
Yeah, success on first down. The Wolves, you look at their drives, they're moving the football a little bit. Wildcats held in the first series. Second series, Wolves were moving the football. The Wildcats just made a play on a mistake.
So 2nd down and 2. They hand the ball off the middle to Cramblett, and Cramblett is wrapped up and driven backwards. And he is not going to get the 30-yard line. They give him a gain of only 1, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, nice job that time. Hunter Chastain, first man there, defensive line. Then a couple linebackers, Jacobson and another came in to help him out.
And that will be the final play of the first quarter. So we'll move to the other side of the 50 and get ready for quarter number 2. Cassville leading over Reed Spring 14-0. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Cats leading over Reed Spring 14-0. Tonight's second quarter is brought to you by Young Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. They've got offices in Cassville and Joplin. They have exceptional quality dentistry and incomparable customer service. You can find them online at youngfamilydentistry.com or give their Cassville office a call at 374-2130. 3rd down and 1 from the 29 of the Wolves. Reed Spring, after a little confab between quarters, now back and ready to go. Gross hands the ball off to Cramblett. Cramblett, good surge by the offensive front, pushes out to the 33, maybe even the 34. Has more than enough yardage for a Reed Spring first down.
You get a sense if the Wolves are in a short yardage situation, going to have a pretty good chance of picking that up with the way Cramblett runs that football. It's hard to stop him for no gain or a loss. Haven't seen it yet.
He was able to pick up 5 there. He's unofficially up to 30 yards on 8 carries here in the first half. So the Wolves get a fresh set of downs. And Gross is going to run the option. He keeps it himself and tries to turn the corner, and Cassville right there with the defense drops him after a gain of only a couple of yards.
Yeah, really nice play that time by the defense. Looked like Chastain over on that side. Also DJ White from the corner position coming in. Bring the quarterback down for a short gain there on first down.
Just underway early on here in quarter number 2. Cassville leading 14-0. 2nd down and 8 facing the Wolves. The ball at their own 36-yard line. They go unbalanced left. They've got a receiver out wide to the right. Man comes in motion as Bailiff. They run the ball that way. Pitch the ball out to the option. Bailiff trying to get to the sidelines. Cassville running him out of bounds over there before he can get to the first down marker. He gets close, but comes up a couple of yards short. We'll see where they spot it. Looks like they're going to put it down at the 42 for a gain of 6, and it'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Good play over there. Hayward coming up from that safety position. Also Ewing on the corner coming up to keep the ball carrier from reaching that first down marker.
So Reed Spring 2 of 4 on 3rd down conversion tries here in the first half. This will be their 5th 3rd down conversion attempt. 3rd down and 2 inside their own 45. And Gross wants to throw it this time. For the first time tonight, they go up top, and he overthrows the intended receiver, J.T. Bailiff. And I don't think quarterback and receiver were on the same page right there.
No, the quarterback's throwing an out route there. Bailiff kind of ran out and looked back, and the ball ends up skipping into the Wildcat bench. So, yeah, a little miscommunication there. Could have been a situation where tight end was just held up in traffic at the line of scrimmage. So, unfortunately for the Wildcats, looks like they're going to get the football back.
Last time Reed Spring tried to punt, they got it blocked. This time they're going to run the fake, and they've got the first down as they pick it up by about a yard.
Very close.
Boy, he got hit just short of the first down marker. But then he was able to dive forward. And that was Cramblett back there. And a strong run by him takes it to the 46. And it's first down, Reed Spring.
And again, Reed's Spring uses the rugby-style punt, catches the football, just kind of sprints to the right. And that may be a situation where it's, if you think you can make it, just take off. And he just got enough.
This time they pitch the ball to Allison on first down, and Matt Allison is run down from behind. Good job by the middle linebacker, Zach Kanan. He's been all over the place here in the first half as he takes Allison down at the 48 after a gain of 2.
Well, good defense overall there as Gross was running that option around the left side. Jacobson, the outside linebacker on this side, took him away, forced him to pitch the football. And then, as you said, Kanan, middle linebacker, just flowing down that line of scrimmage, able to make a nice tackle.
9:35 left to go before halftime. Cassville leading 14-0. Second down and 8, Reed Spring, just shy of midfield. Cassville showing the blitz. Here they come up the edge, and Gross is able to get away from the pressure, takes it across the 50, and then is hit. Dropped short of the first down, but a good job by the quarterback, Sean Gross, able to read that pressure and elude it and pick up positive yardage as they move the ball on the Cassville side of the 50-yard line down to the Wildcat 47.
All kinds of pressure by that Wildcat defensive line, just not quite able to contain Gross. He was able to sneak out the only open area that he possibly could have, got out there, picked up some positive yardage, brought down again by middle linebacker Zach Kanan, who had come out of coverage to come up and make the play.
So it'll bring up third down and 3. Gross gives the handoff to the man up the middle as they had Allison in motion, but they give it to Colton Cramblett, and Cramblett takes it ahead to the 45, just across the 45. They spot it down between the 44 and the 45, and he needed to get to the 44, I believe, and they say fourth down and inches for the Wolves.
Fourth down and inches. If you're a betting man, money says the ball goes to Cramblett right here in short down yardage. But we'll see what happens.
They've got everybody lined up in tight except for one receiver out wide to the right. Cramblett only about 3 yards in the backfield. They give him the football. A big surge straight ahead, but it looks like he got enough to pick up the first down. He only needed about 8 or 9 inches, and he gets about a foot and a half as they move the ball down just shy of the 43, and it'll be a first down for the Wolves.
Just enough. The Wildcat defense punished Cramblett on that carry as he was very slow to get up, trying to run in there hard and met with all kinds of resistance, just barely picking up that first down.
So first and 10, the Wolves get a new set of downs here with 7:55 left to go before halftime. Cassville leading 14-0. Wildcats with a 4-man front. Off right tackle goes Cramblett, and he breaks the tackle this time, and he picks up big yardage down inside the 30, down to the Cassville 28-yard line. Well, you had talked about Cramblett with the power type of running attack he possesses. They were going to have to keep an eye on him, or he was going to bust one, and he did right there.
Yeah, and he definitely shows some speed, brought down by an ankle tackle at the end of the run right there. That's 6 points. But this Reed Spring football team, this offense, they continue to just pound the football right at the Wildcats.
That was a gain of 15 and first and 10 at the Cassville 28. We're down to 7.5 left to go before halftime. Gross back up under center. And he fakes it to Bailiff, pitches the ball to Allison, who takes a lick out there from DJ White. Bowen Preddy hangs on to the football, and he is dropped after a gain of 1 to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, Preddy coming up from that safety position, really reading the play. You said White coming up from his corner, able to, forcing the ball carrier back to the defense. Preddy coming in and cleaning that up. Nice play right there. A lot of speed from Bowen Preddy right there on the football field.
So second down and 9 for the Wolves at the Cassville 27. Clock continuing to move as we're down to 6.5 left to go before halftime. Cassville stays with the 4-man front. Man goes in motion. They give it off to Bailiff. Bailiff now coming out of the backfield as they give Cramblett a bit of a breather. And And J.T. Bailiff inside the 25 down to the 24 as he is able to pick up about 3 yards.
Cramblett was facing about 25 carries before halftime. They probably did need to give him a little bit of a breather. He runs the ball very hard. He's an aggressive runner, but this defense, they're going to play aggressive right along with him, and you just kind of have to take a kid out and make him relax for a few minutes, or he's not going to make it through this football game.
So 3rd down and 5. Bailiff again in the backfield behind Gross. And they run the ball and run into each other. And Gross keeps it, breaks a tackle at the 15 and takes it inside the 10 and picks up a 1st down. Well, that play got blown up right at the get-go because the running back and the quarterback ran into each other and almost knocked each other down. But Gross was able to keep his balance, and of all things, he picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, Gross was hit by his fullback and forced down the field and just happened to put him in a great position to get some positive yardage right there and a big gain for the Wolves.
It's a gain of 16 down to the 8-yard line. And it's 1st and goal, Reed Spring, with 5:28 left to go in the half. Cassville with a 14-0 lead, but the Wolves knocking on the door. Bailiff goes in motion. They give it up the middle to Cramblett, and Cramblett driving with those legs and pushes ahead to the 6. He is able to gain 2 yards on 1st down.
From what we've seen out of the Wolves' offense, they haven't shown a very proficient passing attack, as they've only dropped back a couple of times. So it's no real secret what they want to do. They're trying to run the football and run it a lot. And the Wildcats going to end up stacking this box and really trying. I mean, there's your focus. Let's go one-on-one with out here on the edge, and let's put everybody else in here by the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, because they've had the ball for nearly 8 minutes on this drive. And now, just as we say, they haven't thrown it much. Gross was wanting to throw the football, but nobody was open. He turns the other way, runs around to the open end of the field, makes a man miss at the 5, and takes it in for the touchdown.
Once again, all kinds of pressure from this Wildcat defense. Gross no time at all to throw the football, able to spin out of a tackle and then make another man miss about the 5-yard line into the end zone. Wildcats not able to get their hands on Gross, and if they do, he just spins right out. Very tough to tackle back there.
So Colton Cramblett will now attempt the extra point after the 6-yard touchdown run by Sean Gross. Snaps a good one on the tee. The kick is up, and it is good. And with 4:36 left to go in the first half, Reed Spring cuts the Cassville lead in half. It's now 14-7 Wildcats. A 17-play, 80-yard drive that takes, let's see, 8.5 minutes off the clock.
The Wildcats just not able to get the Wolves off the field.
Yeah, they converted 2 third downs and 2 fourth downs on that drive.
And the defensive calls have been great. The Wildcats have been in position and put all kinds of pressure on the quarterback. They've tried to throw the football 4 times. One time, just nobody there. The other 3 times, the Wildcat pressure has been all over Gross, and he's just been able to get out of it somehow and do something positive.
Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Young Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. Whether you want preventative, restorative, porcelain veneers, dental implants, they could even help with sleep apnea therapy or Botox fillers, all at Young Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. You can find them online at youngfamilydentistry.com or give their Cassville office a call at 374-2130. That's 374-2130. So Cramblett, he's a busy guy. He's not only the main ball carrier, he's also the kicker, the punter. He does a little bit of everything for the Wolves. He tees it up at the 40-yard line. DJ White, Jericho Ferris dropping back deep for the Wildcats. Ball kicked down the middle of the field, and Ferris watches it sail over his head and into the end zone for a touchback.
Cramblett with those strong legs, able to boom the football. Going to force the Wildcats into their worst starting field position of the night.
Yeah, they've been beneficiaries of a blocked kick and a fumble recovery and have not had to start on their own side of midfield. But this time they'll start at their own 20 with 4:36 left to go in the second quarter. Wildcats with a 14-7 lead. They split the backfield behind Bates, and they send a receiver out to the left. They give the ball to Kanan. Kanan hit right as he crosses the line of scrimmage, but dives out to the 24, picks up 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 6.
Wildcats very patient. Still continue to just run their offense, stay within their offense. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go until halftime here. Wildcats have an opportunity to put something together, try to get some points on the board here going into halftime.
Kanan, the leading ball carrier so far for Cassville. He's carried only 4 times, but he's picked up 16 yards on those 4 carries. DJ White, the leading yardage gainer with 3 catches for 55 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And again, White is open, but this time Bates overthrows him. DJ White had gotten wide open in the seam between the safety and the corner out at midfield, but the ball was thrown over his head.
And Bates this time put that ball on a rope, put a little air under that pass, let your receiver run underneath it. He had, as you said, he had gotten open, got behind the secondary. He came across the field, and there was nobody out there. That ball, if there's a little air under that, that's probably 6 points there, Sammy.
Yeah, the safety's the only guy that's behind him, and the angle he would have not been able to catch him, I do not believe. This time, Preddy on the carry, starts out wide, cuts it back towards the middle of the field, and Bowen Preddy takes it to the 31, maybe the 32. Looks like they are going to give him the 32, and he picks up a first down. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store. They offer you a personalized shopping experience tailored to your community. 99 Highway 37 South in Cassville. So Preddy picks up 8 yards and a first down for the Wildcats. And Bates this time fakes the handoff to Kanan, going to run it himself, and Reed Spring reaches in and grabs him by the legs and drops him just shy of the 35-yard line. Pickup of only 2.5 yards, and it'll bring up second down and 8.
We don't see Bates do that a lot, but Wolves.
Down to 3 minutes now left to play before the half. Cassville with a 14-7 lead. Wildcats with possession. Bates is going to run the option, pitches it back to Preddy, bobbles it, gathers it back in, and he's got the sideline. One man to beat, and that's Bailiff, and he runs by him, but Bailiff is able to grab a hold, a handful of jersey, and drag him down from behind. But a big play and a first down, but we've got a flag. Guess what? A penalty flag thrown way back at the beginning of the play between the 35 and the 40 over on the Reed Spring sideline.
Option play around that left edge. Bates did a nice job of setting it up, hanging onto that football, drawing the defense, pitched to Preddy. Preddy turned on the jets. But right there, just after Preddy caught that pitch, it looks like where the flag was thrown. And it's going to cost the Wildcats a big play.
Takes away all the yardage, the first down, and penalizes them 10 yards. First flag of the night against the Wildcats. And it will move it back to the 28. So on that long run by Preddy, they had almost moved into field goal range, but now they're back at their own 28-yard line facing second down and 14. I formation behind Bates. They pitch it back to Preddy. Preddy looking for the halfback option, a little give and go, and now there's DJ White, and he's open down the middle of the field, and the ball goes through his hands. The ball hung up just a little bit, and it allowed Nate Cerny to get back there and get a hand in the way of DJ White making that catch.
Halfback option pass is the sweep to Preddy going around the right edge. White did a nice job of selling it, went out, faked the stock block on the corner, then released and had a step. Preddy put the ball, just kind of came out of his hand funny, kind of a wounded duck out there. He'd like to have that throwback. And I don't know if the contact from the D-back caused the drop or if White was just trying to take off with the football before he caught it, but you sure don't see him drop very many.
So it's third down and 14 for Cassville. Reed Spring trying to get the ball back here and flip the field a little bit in the process. They pitch the ball to Preddy. Preddy lowers the shoulder pads and takes on contact and powers his way out to the 35. It's a gain of 7. So he gets half of what they needed for a first down.
The Wildcats going to run the punt team out on the field. And I tell you, penalties will kill you, especially when they take away first downs or points. The Wildcats had a big play brought back due to penalty in this drive.
He doesn't get the greatest of spots. They put him down at the 35, so it'll bring up fourth down and nearly 8. Drake Reese to punt it away. Down the sidelines goes the kick. And Cerny has the ball bounce off his hands. There's a scramble for it back at the 20. but Nate Cerny appears to have been able to dive on top of the football and not allow Cade Hayward to go in there and swipe it away. Hayward was right there, but Cerny was able to get to the football and keep it from being another Reed Spring turnover.
Very fortunate for the Wolves. Hayward was right there, and just a grab and tugging match at the bottom of that pile, and Cerny able to hang on to the football. Wolves catch a huge break right there in this football game.
So a 44-yard kick, no return. Reed Spring takes over at their own 21 with 1:50 left to play here in the first half. Cassville leading 14-7. Twin receivers, first time we've seen this look from the Wolves. And no flankers. They just go with twin receivers right and left, and the pass is intercepted. Ewing steps in the passing lane and takes it down the sidelines. Touchdown, Cassville.
I'll tell you what, Sammy, when you're not comfortable in the passing game, and we talked about it in the last drive, we just haven't seen a solid passing game from this Wolf football team. Things like that happen, and you just had a situation again where it appeared the quarterback and the receiver were not on the same page. As the ball was thrown, the receiver was running down the sideline. Great job by Ewing with his eyes on the quarterback, broke on the football, and just nobody out in front of him. Second big play defensively for this Wildcat football team.
So Drake Reese in to attempt the point after. Snap back, ball down, kick is up, and it is good. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. Hey, if you're at the lake, drop by their location in Shell Knob in the Bridgeway Plaza. You can ask them about auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance. All at Willis Insurance in Shell Knob. Call 858-3747. The Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Crowder College with a satellite campus in Cassville. Get more information about classes and enrollment information online at crowder.edu. Well, the special teams have come up with a big block that led to a touchdown on a punt. Now the defense has put points on the board with a pick six, and the offense has contributed as well. So all three parts of the game clicking here tonight for Cassville, and they're hoping that continues as we go through the rest of the night. We've got a minute 44 left to go before halftime, and Drake Reese will be kicking the ball away for the Wildcats. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you as always by Baywash Car Wash. Clean car's a happy car, and that makes you feel good. They have the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic, featuring custom wash technology, giving you the perfect wash every time at Baywash. Reese, the first time kicking towards the south end zone, and he drives this one all the way 8 yards deep, and it'll be another touchback for the Wolves.
Well, the Wildcats were hoping to get another score on the board before halftime. Trying to do that with their offense. Their defense steps up big. Interception, return to the house by Ewing. Making this a two-score ball game again, 21-7 Wildcats. Minute and 44 seconds to go until halftime here.
Well, when you get a turnover, it's one thing. To make it hurt is another, and they have made it hurt both times as they've scored touchdowns off of both Reed Spring turnovers here in the first half.
And that's what you have to do. When the opposition gives you something, you certainly better take advantage of it. Wildcats have done that tonight.
So it's back to the double tight, double flank, and the lone receiver, and they give the ball to Cramblett, and the flag comes flying in. Cramblett powers his way out to the 25, maybe across the 25 to the 26. No, they do spot it at the 25, but a flag thrown, and right now they're looking at the referee, and they call a face mask against Cassville. So that's going to help out the run by Cramblett. He got 5, and is it going to be another 5? Or, yep, just going to be another 5. So it'll move it out to about the 31-yard line and a first down for the Wolves.
And this situation in the game here, heading into halftime, you don't want to give any more yards than you have to.
Cramblett unofficially 60 yards now here in the first half running, and they pitch the ball wide, and another first down for the Wolves, as racing around the right end was J.T. Bailiff on the pitch from Gross, and he takes it out to the 45. It's a gain of 16 yards and a first down for Reed Spring.
Bailiff showing great speed, getting to the edge, right up that Reed Spring sideline, picking up that first down.
Still a minute 22 left to go before the half. Cassville leading 21-7. Reed Spring moving the football. Gross trying to pick his way around the right end and find a little seam to run through, but he doesn't find much over there against the Cassville defense, is able to move it ahead to the 48 after a short gain of 3.
Well, faking to the first man through, trying to go around that right edge. Looked like Rybert, defensive end on that side, had taken the tackle into the backfield, and quarterback had to try to go around it.
2nd down and 7. They give the ball on the end around to Bailiff, and Bailiff will not go down. He keeps fighting for extra yardage and moves it ahead to the Cassville 45-yard line. That's going to be very close to another Reed Spring first down. Bailiff bouncing off contact not once but twice and is able to pick up 7 yards.
And another situation, Sammy, in this game where the Wildcats have been in position to make a tackle and just not able to get it done, allowing the ball carrier to gain more yardage.
We've got a timeout on the field with 50 seconds left to go before half. The timeout brought to you by Superior Metal. If you're looking for a steel building, shop, or roof that will defend against the elements, look no further than Superior Metal Sales. Highway 76 south of Cassville. Yeah, Reed Spring going with the hurry-up offense there, trying to catch Cassville not only off balance but not able to get completely set. But timeout stops that, and they're looking and checking, and now they say first down Reed Spring. So since the timeout was called, it allowed them to bring the chains out. And just by inches, the Wolves are able to pick up the first down at the Cassville 45. Wildcats leading 21-7 here with 50.1 seconds left in the first half. Reed Spring trying to get some points on the board here before halftime. They bunch things up at the line of scrimmage. Bring a man in motion. That's Allison. And Gross is wanting to throw. No, they give it to Bailiff. They tried a little halfback option of their own. Now Bailiff dumps it off to Allison. Allison makes a man miss at the 40, gets to the edge at the 30, breaks another tackle, still on his feet, and finally brought down at the 29-yard line. A flag thrown out between the hashes at the 38. Allison was running all over the place. And we've got an illegal man downfield. The place took so long to develop, and Bailiff was initially looking to the right side. That was all covered up, so by the time he turned his attention back to the left side of the field, somebody got a little too far downfield.
Yeah, it just took way too long to develop, and those linemen, they're not going to be able to stay there forever, and Wildcats catch a break.
Got some scores from around the Big Eight. Monette leading McDonald County 21-0. Aurora has a 14-7 lead over Marshfield. Mount Vernon on top of Catholic 12-0. Seneca over East Newton 21-6. Lamar 21-0 over Nevada. All of those first half scores. So they're going to throw the flag at the 38, back it up to the 43, 5-yard penalty against the Wolves. So they will get credit for the play to Allison down to the 38-yard line and then back it up from there. Now Gross under pressure in the backfield, and he is going to be dropped for a loss. Sean Gross wanted to go to his right, tried to reverse his field, and all that did was cost him some yardage as he is dropped back at the 47-yard line.
Well, Gross and Cramblett fighting for that football off the right edge. Gross was finally able to get it away. And by that time, nowhere to go. Tried to reverse his field. Jaden Rybert keeping that contained, able to get his hands around the waist to Gross and bring him down.
And while all that is transpiring, the time runs off the clock, and we have reached halftime. As they head to the locker room, Cassville on top of Reed Spring, 21-7. We'll step aside, let you hear from our sponsors. Be back with the Shoemaker Tire Halftime Show. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Cassville, we are at halftime. Tonight's halftime show brought to you by Shoemaker Tire, family-owned and operated Shoemaker Tire in Golden, Missouri. They've been serving their customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. You can find them online at shoemakertire.com, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Cassville jumped out to the early 14-0 lead as they scored with 5:54 left to go in the first quarter on a 7-yard pass from Devin Bates to DJ White after a blocked punt. The Cassville Wildcats only had to move the ball 35 yards, and they punched it in for the go-ahead score. Then on the next possession for Cassville, they were able to recover a fumble by the Wolves, and with 1:03 left to go in the first quarter, another 35-yard drive capped off by a 22-yard pass from Devin Bates to DJ White. Drake Reese added the point after, and it was 14-0 Cassville. Reed Spring cut the Cassville lead in half with 4:36 left to go in the second quarter. A 17-play, 80-yard drive that took over 8 minutes off the clock. Sean Gross running the final 6 yards for the touchdown, and it was 14-7 Cassville with the lead. But then the Wildcats get a score from their defense with 1:44 left to go in the half. A 30-yard interception return by Jerome Ewing for the score, and the Wildcats lead it 21-7 here at the break. Other scores around the Big Eight: Monette over McDonald County, 21-0. Marshfield and Aurora tied at 14 late in the first half. Mount Vernon leading over Catholic 12-0. That also a second quarter score. Seneca over East Newton 21-6 in the second quarter. Lamar has extended their lead to 28-0 in the first. Cassville, we are at halftime. Wildcats lead over Reed Spring 21-7. Fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention during the national anthem? Do you cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you're showing positive examples of sportsmanship. Don't forget, when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. By making a conscious effort, you'll be helping our students grow into better citizens for tomorrow. Sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care, and we appreciate their sponsorship of Wildcat Sports. All right, looking at some of the stats from the first half as we continue on here with the halftime show brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. They're a name you can count on for tires, and they've been doing it since 1961. Mark and the gang will have you up and running when you need a new set of tires in no time flat, or when you just have no time for a flat. Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Start off with the visitors. Reed Spring rushed the ball 32 times in the first half for 153 yards. They were only 1 of 3 through the air for 7 yards. They picked up a total of 160 yards of offense, the majority of that coming on that one drive. 11 first downs, 2 turnovers, 1 lost fumble, and 1 lost through the air on an interception. They were penalized once for 5 yards, and the only time they tried to punt the ball, they got it blocked. Cassville, 12 carries for 38 yards. They were 3 of 5 through the air for 55 yards, so only 93 yards of offense. And that's one of the oddities because Cassville has worked twice with a really short field. They've been outgained 160 to 93, but they're winning 21 to 7. They've only picked up the 4 first downs because they've been able to cover those 2 short fields rather quickly. They did not turn the ball over. They were penalized twice for 15 yards, and they punted once for 44 yards in the first half.
Well, and you've got a defensive touchdown thrown in there as well, which adds to the difference in the scoring there and the yardage discrepancy. So Wildcats have been working with some short yardage, which I'm sure head coach Lance Parnell is absolutely fine with that. Going to have to make some adjustments defensively against this tough running game of the Wolves.
Looking at some of the individual numbers from the first half, Reed Spring led by Colton Cramblett. He's got 14 carries for 60 yards. Sean Gross, 9 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. And J.T. Bailiff, he has 7 carries for 35 yards. And it was Matt Allison, 1 catch for 7 yards in the first half. Cassville led on the ground by Bowen Preddy, 18 yards on 6 carries. Zach Kanan has 4 carries for 16 yards. Devin Bates, 1 carry for 2. Jericho Ferris, 1 carry for 4. And DJ White has 3 catches for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, another nice night for White through the air. A couple of scores. And not a lot to talk about offensively for this Wildcat football team. Again, they just haven't had it that much and haven't had a lot of field to work with, but they've been efficient and found ways to put points on the board.
Yeah, the 2 short drives, they only had to go the 35 yards on their first 2 possessions. They were able to score on both of those, and we talked about it a little bit there in the second quarter. 2 turnovers by Reed Spring, and it's nice to get those turnovers, but you need to take advantage and put points on the board after those turnovers, and they were able to do it both times. The 1 turnover turning directly into a touchdown on the pick 6, and then after the fumble, and then even after the block punt, they were able to score after both of those as well.
Well, good football teams take advantage of mistakes, and the Wildcats have been able to do that tonight. And that's really the difference in the football game is their ability to take advantage of a gift that was given to them by the Wolves, not once but twice.
All right, time for our giveaway here tonight during our broadcast. Cassville fans, get your dialing fingers ready. Or maybe we might have some Reed Spring folks listening to it. They've got a radio crew here tonight as well, so I'd say probably not too many. But Cassville fans, 489-2277 is the number to call, and we've got 2 $10 gift vouchers for Florentina's Restaurant in Branson. If you like Italian food, Florentina's Restaurant right there in Branson, Missouri, has a great menu. They're located on Green Mountain Drive, right off of 76, right behind Grand Village. And they're right there. There's a little mini golf course right across the street from them. There's a steakhouse right there next door, but it's right behind Grand Village. And Florentina's Restaurant in Branson, great Italian food. And I've got 2 $10 gift vouchers for Florentina's Restaurant in Branson. So if you're planning a trip to Branson this fall, you can get yourself some great food there at Florentina's and save some money in the process. 2 $10 gift vouchers for Florentina's Restaurant. Call 489-2277. That's 489-2277. First person through on the phone lines wins those 2 $10 gift certificates to Florentina's. Now, again, we remind you, if you've already won this season, please do not call and allow somebody else the opportunity to win some of these prizes. But if you're headed to Branson, like Italian food, Florentina's Restaurant, 2 $10 gift certificates, 489-2277. Be the first person through on the phone lines, and those are yours. That's our giveaway tonight here at halftime. The Wildcats and the Wolves both out going through their warm-ups as we're down to about 2.5 minutes before we start the third quarter. We'll break away one more time and be back with the second half. Tonight's halftime been brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. Over 50 years of taking care of their customers like no one else. Call Shoemaker Tire at 271-3490 or find them online at shoemakertire.com. Cassville leading Reed Spring 21-7. Back with the third quarter after this. Jeremy Marple back with you here at Cassville. Todd Speakman, and he's got an assistant tonight, Drew Speakman, on the Web TV tonight. Drew's going to be helping us next week when we head up to Lamar for the final game of the regular season. We appreciate his help, and Todd's, as always, here on our broadcast. As we get ready to start the third quarter, tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where with over 15 years of experience, they specialize in new, used, and custom-built pallets. They're backing the Wildcats all the way. In God we trust at J&M Pallet Company. Call 847-6732. Kay McCullough is the winner of our Florentina gift certificates. Congratulations, and thanks for listening to tonight's broadcast. Well, the Wildcats won the tip. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Hey.
It's basketball season's not here yet. The NBA is still in preseason. But they won the coin toss, and they elected to defer their option to the second half. So they're going to get the football to start quarter number 3. And Colton Cramblett set to kick it away. Gets a high kick, but it is returnable as Jericho Ferris is going to bring it out from the 5-yard line. Gets to the hash and turns it upfield at the 20. Now tries to get out to the sidelines, and they cut him off there. And as he tries to cut back towards the middle of the field, he slips and falls at the 24. Had his feet go out from underneath him. They give him the 25, so that's where Cassville will start their first possession of the second half, leading 21-7.
Yeah, it looked like he had a little seam there to work with, trying to get to that Wildcat sideline. Again, nice speed by the Wolves cutting that off. Ferris trying to hit the brakes and make a move, just not able to quite do it there.
So the Wildcats up to the line of scrimmage, split backfield of Kanan and Preddy behind Devin Bates. They've got twin receivers wide to the left side. They run to the short side to Kanan. Big hole off right tackle. He's across the 40, across the 50. It's a foot race down the sidelines. 30, 20, diving attempt at the 10, and they take him down at the 5. Great hustle by Matt Allison with a diving effort, got the legs of Kanan before he could get into the end zone. And Matt Allison saves 6 points.
And Kanan's down there saying, "You've got to be kidding me." As the heel, Kanan's heel was hit just hard enough to trip him up at full speed and keep him out of the end zone. But what a way to start this third quarter. Just an explosive play by Kanan down the Wildcat sideline. He went, nearly making his way into the end zone.
So they say his knee went down at the 7. First and goal, Cassville. Bates is going to run it around the end himself into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. The Wildcat drive into the red zone brought to you by Roark Diesel. You can find them online at roarkdiesel.com or call 847-6560 for diesel performance products. Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance for auto, home, health, and life, along with commercial insurance. See the folks at Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville and in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shellknob. Stop by and get a quote today. Well, a 67-yard run by Canaan set up the touchdown, and Devin Bates takes it the final 7 yards. Wildcats add to their lead, 27-7. Now the extra point tried by Reese. The kick is up, and it is good. The Wildcat extra point brought to you by Crowder College. Main campus in Neosho, satellite campus in Cassville. Find out more online, crowder.edu. Well, 2 plays and 7 more points up on the board.
Explosive play right out of the chute for the Wildcats. Canaan showed some nice speed, big physical running back, was able to stretch the legs out a little bit, run in space, just caught. Bates calls his own number down there as he faked the football to Canaan, and around the edge he went. Nice play call, good read on the play, and into the end zone he goes, and Canaan probably went back to the sideline, looked at Bates and said, you know, I worked real hard to get down here. You could have given me the football. Let me go ahead and get on the board. But Wildcats will take 6 points all day long.
So Canaan now goes from 16 yards to 84 yards rushing on the night. And Drake Reese set to kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Come try out the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic featuring custom wash technology, giving you the perfect wash every time. Drake Reese kicks this one high and deep, and the return men watch it bounce. Not quite as deep this time. It just was a yard into the end zone, and they both started having second thoughts about maybe letting that thing go past them, as they thought they may have to go return that thing as if it was going to die inside the 5.
Well, the wind has picked up a little bit here after halftime, as now we look to the north end zone and we see a big flag actually blowing a little bit. That ball was kicked very high, as you said, and just kind of hung up in the wind just a little bit. But still, strong enough leg from Reese to kick the ball into the end zone.
Nearly checked up inside the 5. They were about ready to think, oh my goodness, we just did a bad thing letting that ball go by. But now on first down, the Wolves running the football. And Colton Cramblett, the workhorse for the Wolves in the first half, gets the first carry of the second half and powers his way out to the 26 for a gain of 6.
Yeah, take a nice shot. Bounced off a couple of tacklers right at the line of scrimmage, and linebacker Carson Jacobson came in, put his helmet right between the numbers of the ball carrier. Nice shot there with Jacobson.
So Cramblett now unofficially 66 yards on the night on 15 carries. Second down and 4 for the Wolves. Cassville with a 28-7 lead as they strike on just 2 plays here in the second half. Up the middle, the ball goes again. Cramblett on the carry, powers his way to the 30. Going to be right there at the first down stake. The chain gang's already getting ready to move, but the officials have not signaled yet. We've got a conversation going on back at the line of scrimmage. I don't see a flag, but it's got to be somewhere out there. And they call a procedure penalty against the Wolves. Oh, the flag's way over here on the Cassville sideline. Can't see it because of some Cassville players as the side judge was throwing that flag. And the procedure penalty will back it up to the 21.
Going to take a first down away from the Wolves here. Bring up second and long now.
Just underway here in the second half. Cassville leading 28-7. Reed Spring with their first possession of the third quarter, facing a second down and 9. Ball at their own 21 after the 5-yard penalty. Cassville staying with the 4-man front. Wolves shifting players from right to left. Now they bring a man in motion. They run it back between the tackles, and the ball carrier hit by Andrew Pryor, and he is helped out on the interior there.
Rybert.
Yeah, that was Jaden Rybert in there standing up Cramblett, and he is able to pick up only a yard to the 22.
Yeah, nice job there. They wrapped up, did not let go, as Cramblett was not able to bounce out of the tackle. Jaden Rybert, 6'2", 230, 40 pounds, big, strong kid.
So that brings up third down and 8. They fake the pitch to Allison, and Gross is looking to throw. The pass over the middle is underthrown, trying to hit a man in a little pocket out between the 35 and the 40, and the ball bounces well in front of him, and it'll bring up fourth down.
As the Wildcats have extended this lead, they're going to force the Wolves to put the ball in the air a little bit, and that's just fine with them, as the Wildcats would like to see the Wolves try to throw the football in this game.
So
definitely not as strong as their running game.
Exactly, and Cramblett now going to have to punt the ball. And DJ White waiting to kick a line drive kick this time. Bounces to the Cassville 44. White has to get away from it as it squibs inside the 40 and blown dead at the 38.
Well, nice series there by the defense after a quick score from this Wildcat offense, getting the ball back in the offense hands once again.
40-yard kick, no return. Cassville takes over at their own 38-yard line with 9:29 left to go here in the third quarter. And we've got a stoppage on the field as Reed Spring calls a timeout. Timeout brought to you by Superior Metal. If you're looking for a roof or storage shed, check out Superior Metal Sales, Highway 76 south of Cassville.
Kind of a strange time for a timeout, right after you punt the football.
Yeah, you think that may have come before the punt.
Right.
Instead of after the punt. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company with the motto In God We Trust. Remember, during the third quarters of your life, praise God whether you win or lose and give him the victory. Phone Jeff for all your pallet needs at 847-6732. That's 847-6732. 28-7, Cassville with the lead here early on in the second half. Wildcats take over with 9:30 left to go in quarter number 3 at their own 38 after the punt by the Wolves. Preddy and Ferris now in the backfield. We've got receivers split right and left, and Devin Bates up under center is going to run the option, pitches the ball to the wide side to Ferris. Ferris with a couple of blockers on the edge, takes it across the 40 and dives out to the 44-yard line. Pretty nice gain there on first down.
Yeah, good job there by Ferris, taking that pitch deep in the backfield, able to come around the edge, heading towards that Wildcat sideline. Saw a couple of defenders, rather than try to hit the brakes and make a move, he just lowered the shoulder and tried to go right through them. Nice job there on first down.
It's a gain of 6. It'll bring up second down and 4. DJ White and Drake Reese now team up at the receiver on the left side. That's the wide side of the field. Handoff goes up the middle, and Bowen Preddy is hit right as he gets across the line of scrimmage and stopped for a pickup of only a yard to the 45.
Yeah, not much room to work with right there. It's Preddy coming out of that fullback position this time, straight ahead. And a good play defensively there by Justin Talley, big physical linebacker for this Reed Spring football team.
So third down and 3 for Cassville. They were 2 of 5 on third down conversion tries in the first half. First attempt at third down here in the second half. Ferris and Preddy split in the backfield. They fake it to Ferris, run the option. Bates is going to keep it. He's got the first down around the left end, across midfield, into Reed Spring territory. Finally brought down at about the 47-yard line of the Wolves.
Hey, really nice decision right there by Bates, pulling that football and getting around that left edge in the option game. Did not try to pitch the football, saw a seam, stuck his foot in the ground, downfield he went, picked up a first down.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store in Cassville. Brand name appliances, power tools, lawnmowers, fitness equipment, and much more. Come by and get to know them. 99 Highway 37 South, Cassville, Missouri. Now from the shotgun, Bates is looking deep. He's got Bowen Preddy on a slant. He's got him open. The catch is made at the 10, and he dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Cassville.
I was pointing Preddy out to you before the play was run, as Preddy had come out wide to the right, ran a deep post route on a play action. Bates let it set up, let Preddy get a little separation through a great ball out there. The difference in that ball and the ball he missed DJ White on was putting a little air under the football, and he threw it out right in front of Preddy. Preddy able to run underneath it and into the end zone. Really nice play.
Took the Wildcats only 2 minutes to score. A 47-yard pass from Bates to Preddy, and the Wildcats extend their lead. Now the extra point by Reese. It's a high snap, but Bates gets it down on the tee, and the kick is up and through. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance for auto with the satellite campus in Cassville. Convenient location right here in the area. You can get more information about classes and enrollment by going online, crowder.edu. 35-7 now, Cassville with the lead as they have scored on their first 2 possessions of the second half. 7:35 left to go here in the third quarter.
Well, I tell you what, when you line up defensively against this Cassville offense and you look out and you've got DJ White lined up wide to one side and you've got Bowen Preddy lined up all the way across the field on the other, makes your secondary pretty nervous because a lot of speed out there, and where you're going to go as a safety, you're going to have to help cover because those guys are going to cause all kinds of trouble one-on-one coverage, and this time there was just no safety out in front of Preddy, and 6 points is the answer.
Drake Reese kicks it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash, and he booms this one about 3 yards deep, and it'll be another touchback for the Wolves. The wind is still blowing, but he got a little stronger leg into that one. And Reed Spring takes over at their own 20, now trailing 35-7. Still 7:35 left to go here in the third quarter.
Now the Wildcats in their 2 possessions here in the third quarter have spent very little time getting points on the board. Big plays, big run from Canaan, big time pass play, Bates to Preddy. Defense has got to stop, forced a punt already here in this third quarter.
Colton Gutting, the lone receiver for the Wolves, out wide to the left. They run the ball to the right. And that time the quarterback, Sean Gross, keeping the ball after faking the handoff to Cramblett. And Gross is able to pick up only 2 yards. It'll bring up second down and 8.
Well, defensively, the Wildcats have been more successful when they forced Reed Spring into second and long. When Reeds has had success on first down, 6 or more yards, they've been able to move the ball down the field.
Inside 7 minutes now left to go third quarter. They bring a flanker around to the left side. They've got power that way. They bring a motion man that direction, and they pitch the ball that way. Trying to get to the edge. Now a cutback move and a missed tackle. And Nate Cerny is able to scamper around and take it across the 30 out to the 31 and pick up a first down. Another missed opportunity there, about 5 yards behind where Cerny eventually ended up with the football.
Yeah, 2 missed tackles takes you from a loss on the play to a first down. And we saw that in the first half. The Wildcats in position, just not able to make tackles. Tough in the open field, I understand that. But at some point, you've got to be able to break down and secure a tackle rather than be so aggressive you just fly to the ball carrier trying for a big hit. You got to secure the ball carrier and bring him down.
Gross this time up under center. They run the ball to the right. Looked like J.T. Bailiff got the handoff coming from the slot, and he is wrapped up quickly, and he is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He loses about a half a yard, and it'll bring up second down.
Yeah, good play there. Adam Pryor coming from the backside defensive end position, the flow of the play going away from him. He's able to run it down from behind the line of scrimmage. Great job there.
Under 6 minutes now left to play here in the third quarter. Cassville leading 35-7. Reed Spring goes unbalanced to the right side. Send a receiver to the left. Second down and nearly 11 to go. They run the option, and instead of the pitch, they give it to Cramblett, and Cramblett wrapped up as soon as he turns up field. Ball comes out at the end of the play, but he was already blown dead after a gain of only a couple of yards to the 32, and it'll bring up third down and 8.
Yeah, back-to-back solid plays by this defense in the run game.
So after some initial success by the Wolves on third down, they've kind of struggled on conversions here as of late. We'll see what the Cassville defense can do here against Reed Spring. The Wolves facing third down and long at their own 32-yard line. Clock continuing to run as we close down to 5 minutes now left to go in the third. Gross wanting to throw a quick pass, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage.
I believe that was Jaden Rybert was able to get his hands in the air and bat the pass down. Really nice job. No, excuse me. That was Adam Pryor. That was Pryor again. Able to get his hands, his eyes were on the quarterback, saw him get ready to throw the football, got his hand up and knocked it down. Nice play defensively there.
They had Al Chavez on a quick slant, and they were just trying to get about 5 or 6 yards and then hope the wide receiver could pick up the extra yardage on the run after the catch, but the pass batted away. Now the rugby-style kick by Cramblett bounces at the Cassville 34, takes a big hop up into the hands of DJ White back at his own 25, and he returns it back across the 35 out to the 39-yard line.
And a nice job that time. White waiting for that big hop, and he got it. Caught the football nearly full speed, was able to split a couple of coverage members before he was brought down. Nice little return there. If he doesn't secure that football, it's going to roll for a while. So really nice job of corralling the ball, picking up positive yardage.
A 44-yard kick and a 14-yard return by DJ White. 1st and 10, Cassville. The ball resting between their own 38 and 39-yard line. Wildcats leading 35-7, and Devin Bates pitches the ball wide to Preddy. Only one man on the edge. He makes him miss. He's across the 50 into Reed Spring territory, takes on contact along the sidelines, and is finally knocked out of bounds down around the Wolves' 40.
Yeah, once again, option game out of the Wildcats, faking to Kanan right here. Bates carrying the football around the right edge. Good pitch relationship there with Preddy. Preddy takes the pitch, gets to that Wildcat sideline. Nice gain there, and another first down.
21-yard pickup for Preddy and a first down for the Wildcats. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store, your local destination for all your home appliances and mattress needs, as well as a great selection of lawn and garden products. Up the middle goes the ball carrier, Preddy, and he is spun down at the 30-yard line. Good strong run by Bowen Preddy. Picks up 9 more yards.
Scott Daniel bringing Preddy down at the end of the play. Kind of spun him down to the ground. Drove that shoulder into the ground. Preddy hops right up. A good hard run straight up the middle of the football field.
So Preddy now unofficially 51 yards on 9 carries on the night. 2nd down and 1 for Cassville. They give the ball to Kanan. Big hole up the middle. There he goes. 20 to the edge. 10, 5. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Kanan not going to be denied the end zone this time, Sammy. Shot through from the fullback position right down the middle of the field. Got through the line of scrimmage into the secondary. No one was going to catch him there. Kanan into the end zone. Great job blocking up front on the play. Huge hole for Kanan, and he takes care of the rest.
A 30-yard touchdown run by Zach Kanan puts him over 100 yards on the night. And Cassville extends their lead to 41-7. Now the extra point try to get the 35-point rule into effect. It's a low snap. Bates gets it up on the tee, and the kick is up and good. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. For over 130 years, Willis Insurance has been there to help with your insurance needs. You don't stay in business for that long unless you treat your customers right. They're located in Shell Knob as well as Cassville. 2 locations to better serve the area. Call Willis Insurance in Cassville, 847-3300. In Shell Knob, 858-3747. The Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Crowder College. Main campus in Neosho, satellite campus in Cassville. Find out more about class and enrollment information online at crowder.edu.
Sammy, the Wildcats had a little over 90 yards of total offense in the first half. Here in this third quarter, I don't have the exact totals, but you're looking at
There's 120,
150 yards
90,
or more.
almost 200
It's almost
yards
200 yards in the third quarter. So an offensive explosion out of this Wildcat offense here in this third quarter.
Yeah, they've had a 75-yard drive and a pair of 62-yard drives. Drake reset to kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash, and this one a driving kick into the wind, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. Well, with 4:08 left to play in the third quarter, the 35-point rule is now into effect, so there will be a running clock with the exception of an official's timeout, a team calling a timeout, or an injury. Tonight's third quarter brought to you, as always, by J&M Pallet Company. They repair used pallets, build and design new and custom pallets. During this game, the games to come, Jeff reminds team members that through God all things are possible. Call J&M Pallet Company, 847-6732. Wolves with possession. Sean Gross pitches the ball to Cramblett. Cramblett trying to get outside. They've been using him a lot up the middle, but that time they used him on a bit of a sweep. And Cramblett is able to pick up nice yardage out to the 39. Yep, they are going to give him 9 yards on the carry. Or 29, excuse me. 29 and a 9-yard pickup.
And Cramblett has that combination of power and speed. We've seen the power all night long. Right there, we got to see a dose of that speed getting to the edge and getting down the field.
So 2nd down and 1 now for Reed Spring. Gross this time runs the option to the short side, pitches it to Allison, and Allison makes a man miss and sidesteps that defender and picks up a 1st down. And that was not Allison. I correct myself. That was Nate Cerny, as Cerny takes it out to the 42 and picks up a 1st down for the Wolves.
Now, both of these teams like to run the football, like the option game. As we've seen both run with the fullback, we've seen quarterback keeps, we've seen quarterback pitch out of both of these teams all night long.
It's a gain of 13 for Cerny. 1st down, Reed Spring at their own 42. Again, running the football, this time again to the short side, which is the Reed Spring sideline. And Sean Gross on the quarterback keeper cannot get to the corner. It'll be no gain on the play and bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Gross trying to keep the football himself around that right edge. And the Wildcat defense all over that play, dealing with short field over there.
Down to 2 minutes left to go, 3rd quarter, 42-7. Cassville with the lead. Wildcats had 21 in the 1st half. They've scored 21 here in the 3rd quarter. A little delayed play there as Reed Spring trying to run the football. And the Wolves ball carrier, which was Gross. Sean Gross faked the handoff and then tried to run in behind a couple of blockers. Pushes out to the 44, picks up 2, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, the play was really kind of blown up from the get-go as the defensive end on that side, Jaden Rybert, beat his man off the football, got in the backfield, and really kind of messed the whole flow of the play up. Nice play there.
Closing in on 1 minute left to play here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and long. Gross rolling to his left, under pressure. Pryor in his face and throws it right into the hands of Carson Jacobson, and the linebacker for the Wildcats wasn't expecting the football, and he is upset with himself, but Gross had to get rid of it quickly with Pryor coming up in his grill, and he just kind of unloaded, and it bounced right into Jacobson's belly, but he couldn't make the pick, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Jacobson totally not expecting that football to be anywhere near him. There were no receivers around. I don't know if they were trying to set up some type of screen game right there, but the running back was nowhere to be found. Big time pressure by Pryor getting in the backfield, getting his hands on Gross, and he just got rid of the football. And Jacobson looking for a receiver coming from somewhere. That ball just kind of hit him across the arm, and really wishing he could get that one back right now.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. He was looking around for a receiver to try to find somebody to cover or to hit. And the next thing the next thing he knows, the ball's bouncing off of him. So Cassville has to use a timeout as they had some personnel issues there on the punt return, and they did not want to waste this opportunity as they should get the ball back with some decent field position, so they have to use a timeout. Timeout on the field brought to you by Superior Metal. If you're looking for a steel building, shop, or roof that will defend against the elements, look no further than Superior Metal Sales, Highway 76 south of Cassville. 4th down and 8. Reed Spring with the ball at their own 44. DJ White will drop back deep to await the kick of Colton Cramblett. The junior kind of Mr. Everything for the Wolves. He carries the ball. He punts and kicks.
Good football player.
Only a junior. Good snap this time. The first time it was a low snap, but this one's right between the 3 and the 9, and he gets away a booming kick. It drives White all the way back to his own 7-yard line. He's going to try to bring it out, but he has got numbers against him if he can get to the sideline. He dives out to the 15 as he made one man miss, but too many white jerseys all over DJ White. He ran a long ways and was able to pick up about 7 or 8 yards.
A great punt. White able to get back to it and pick up some positive yardage, but you're right, it ran nearly all the way across the football field.
A 49-yard kick that time with the wind at his back, and White is able to get, looks like what, a 8-yard return out to the 15-yard line.
He ran about 45 yards to gain 7.
So that will be the final play of the third quarter. They'll go to the other end of the field, and we will start quarter number 4. Cassville leading 42-7 over the Wolves. We'll step aside, be back with the final 12 minutes. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talent Network.
Scores aren't updating very good on ScoreStream tonight.
Slow?
Yeah. Everybody's at halftime. This ain't doing too great.
We go to the fourth quarter. Tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by the Barbecue Station, the best in Texas-style barbecue served every day in Cassville, 900 Main Street on the north side of the Cassville Square. You can also call them for all your catering needs at 847-0470. 42-7, Cassville with the lead as we start tonight's fourth quarter here from Wildcat Stadium. Cassville starting back at their own 15. This has been their worst starting field position of the night. And Devin Bates is going to call his own number on first down, and he will not get back, or will he? Yeah, they do give him the 15-yard line, so it ends up being no gain on the play, and it'll bring up second down and 10.
Really had to fight to get that, as Reed Spring had the play defended very well.
Technically, it's about a half a yard loss because the ball was just across the 15. Now it's just behind the 15, but we're talking inches. So we'll just call it second down and 10 once again for the Wildcats. They send twin receivers out wide to the left. Split backfield behind Bates, and they run the ball to the right. Pitch the ball out to Jericho Ferris, and Reed Spring does a nice job defending on that one. They were not suckered in by all of this stuff over here on the Cassville sideline, as they were all over Ferris, and they drop him after a pickup of only 2.
Yeah. Strong side of the offense near the Wildcat sideline. They run the option game back to the other side. Ball was pitched. Ferris able to pick up maybe 2 yards, but Reed Spring flying to the football right now.
So it'll bring up a third down and long for Cassville. They have yet to convert a third down here in the second half. They've only had one opportunity, though, so this will be the second time they've tried to convert on third down. Clock continuing to move. We've got the running clock here. We're down to 10 and a half left to go in the football game. Bates running the option. Pitches it back to Preddy. Preddy got a blocker on the edge. He's out across the 20, across the 25, and dives out to the 26. And this is going to be close. That second effort by Preddy after getting hit between the 20 and the 25-yard line may have gotten enough yardage for a first down. The line judge, the side judge, now the referee are all checking across, and they signal first down, Cassville.
Great play. Great effort right there by Preddy in the option game, taking that pitch from Bates. Didn't look like he was going to get there, but a spin move towards the end of the run, and he reached across, picking up just enough yardage. Great job.
Cassville Sears Hometown Store. You'll find everything you need for your home and outdoor space, and all at great prices with the support of the friendly and knowledgeable staff at Cassville Sears Hometown Store, 99 Highway 37 South in Cassville. First and 10 Wildcats at their own 26. 9.5 left to play. Cassville with a 42-7 lead. Right up the middle goes the ball carrier, taking on contact, still moving. We got a rugby scrum going. The pile moving across the 35, still no whistle. Finally brought down out at the 37-yard line. Great effort by not only the ball carrier, but the offensive line of Cassville pushing things forward as Zach Kanan and Jericho Ferris coming out of the backfield, and then all those offensive linemen just kept pushing the ball down the field, and they pick up another first down.
Yeah, really nice job. That offensive line kept pushing. Ferris taking the football, running hard. Troy Hagan's a center on this offensive line, just right in the middle of that, leading the way. Just no quit. Great job up front there.
At the gain of 12 and a first down for Cassville, now at their own 38. Twin receivers to the right side, I formation behind Bates. Bates, long snap count, takes the snap with 3 seconds left on the play clock. Ferris gets his number called again. Moves ahead to the 41, picks up 3 yards.
Wildcats taking their time here, as you said, 35 points, clock's running. And the rule that we realized, that I realized was actually a rule at Springfield Catholic, even if Reed Spring were to score here and make it less than 35, the clock will continue to run in the fourth quarter as long as the fourth quarter started with a 35-point lead.
Yeah, and we wondered what was going on up there at Swiss Helm Field that night, way back at the beginning of the season, but that is what the scoreboard and clock operator explained to us after the game. So a new little hitch put into the rule there. Now the ball lost at the 45-yard line. We had a new ball carrier there, as that was Jacob Olberts carrying the ball for Cassville. The ball was stripped loose, but it looks like the Wildcats were able to recover at the 44, and it'll bring up third down.
Olbert's the ball carrier that time. Hasn't had many carries this season in the game. Big point differential here. Trying to give these other ball carriers a rest. Olbert's got through the line of scrimmage running hard. Just linebacker reached in, was able to pull the ball away from him. The Wildcats fortunate to maintain possession here.
So it'll bring up third down and 4 for Cassville at their own 44-yard line. DJ White, the only receiver, another man lined up in the slot. Handoff goes to the tailback Ferris. Ferris powers forward out to the 47, but he's going to come up short of the first down, and it'll bring up fourth down.
It'll be about half a yard short, maybe. Maybe not quite a yard. Wildcats offense remains on the field in their own territory. And it looks like they are going to run the punt team out on the field this time.
Line of scrimmage, the Cassville 47, so they send in Drake Reese. He's got the wind at his back, which, as you pointed out at halftime, has picked up now here in the second half of this football game. Reese gets the kick away, a high kick, and it takes Cerny, the return man, all the way back inside the 5, and it bounces into the end zone for the touchback. So Reed Spring will start at their own 20 with less than 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Cassville leading 42-7. Tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by the Barbecue Station. They're family affordable. They have chicken, ribs, beef, pork, sides, and desserts. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 8, serving the best Texas-style barbecue this side of Dallas, right here in the Ozarks. 900 Main on the north side of the Cassville Square. You can also call them for all your catering needs at 847-0470. The Barbecue Station bringing you tonight's Wildcat fourth quarter of play. First and 10, Reed Spring at their own 20. And Gross pitches the ball back to Cerny, and Cerny's got a seam down the Cassville sideline and races out across the 35 and picks up a first down.
Option game over near the Wildcat sideline. Ferris able to bring the ball carrier down, but not after a big gain.
They spot him down at the 39, so a gain of 19 for Cerny. He's carried the ball only 3 times, but it's picked up 40 yards. He's got good speed. Gross this time hands the ball off to the first man through, and that was Bailiff, I believe. And JT Bailiff got hit as soon as he got the handoff, and he tried to break free, and all that did was allow a couple of more Cassville defenders to come in and put some punishment on him, and he carries for no gain.
Yeah, big Garrett Kreitz, defensive tackle, able to get his hands on the ball carrier. If he's able to get you, it's going to be real hard to get away from it.
We're down to 4 minutes left to play. Cassville leading 42-7. Reed Spring with possession of the football at their own 39, facing second down and 10. Handoff goes on the end around to Allison. Matt Allison turns it up after he gets outside the tackle and fights out to the 42-yard line, picks up 3 yards. First carry of the second half for Allison. Actually gets a better spot than I thought, 43 yards, so a gain of 4 for Allison. And another third down try for the Wolves here, facing third down and 7 to go. Gross fakes it to the right, cuts back to the left. Now he's going to come back to the right again, reverses his field. He's got the first down, nearly went behind the first down mark, but then he realized where he was and dove back to the 49, and we got a flag thrown at the tail end of the play. Boy, he came real close to picking up the first down and then giving it right back, but we've got the flag thrown, and it looks like it may be against Cassville here. No, it looks like it's going to go against Reed Spring. It's going to be a personal foul against the Wolves. You don't see that happen a lot against the offense.
Yeah, right in front of the Wildcat bench.
And he did pick up the first down, and that's where the flag is thrown. So was the flag was after the play then? So he will get the first down credit, but then they'll mark off the penalty yardage and move it all the way back to the 34. Although they haven't changed.
It was not after the play, it was during the play, is what they're calling right now. We've got an official sympathizer up here with us, and our cameraman, Mr. Speakman.
Now they've got it first down, 1st and 10.
So he gets his way.
He was correct. He hasn't forgotten everything he learned all those years ago when he was wearing the stripes. 1st and 10, back at their own 34-yard line. Now the ball comes free as Gross wanted to pitch the ball to Allison, and I don't know whether Allison turned his head or what happened, but Gross had already started the pitch motion, and then it looked like he wanted to take it back, but the ball was out of his hands and diving on the football of the Wildcats. Second lost fumble of the night against Reed Spring.
Yeah, looked like Ethan Fox, sophomore in the game late here, right there on the football. But yeah, just kind of a strange play, moving away from us, so really kind of hard to tell. But you're right, it looked like the running back just wasn't even looking for the pitch. And as the quarterback was trying to get him the football, tried to bring it back, and it just slipped out of his hand right there on the turf, and Wildcats recover.
So 2 minutes left to play, and the second unit is coming in for the Wildcats. Cutter Hicks, the new quarterback for Cassville. We'll get the running backs here in just a moment as Coach Parnell shuffles different guys in the backfield with the second unit. Handoff on first down for Cassville as they take over possession of the football at the Reed Spring 32.
And that was Farrell Okel in the ball game.
Okel picks up a yard, and we're down to 90 seconds left. And now Reed Spring sends in their second unit defense as well, with Cassville leading 42-7.
And a nice gesture here as Coach Parnell will bring in Zach Marlowe, who was injured early in this season, senior, torn ACL, dressed out tonight for senior night, has not played since early in this football season. Obviously not moving around very well, but he's out there as the back man in the victory formation. So really nice to see him get an opportunity to step on his field one more time.
Gets to play on senior night. That's
right.
Always something that you'll get to remember. Hey, I got into the game on senior night. As Hicks takes the knee once, and he'll have to do it one more time, and this will secure the Wildcat victory. He's taking a look at the play clock. It's down to 20 seconds. The game clock down to 40 seconds, so there is quite a bit of difference there, but he will take the knee once it gets under 40 seconds, and that will do it. Cassville improving to 7-1 as they erupt with a 21-point third quarter and pull away and defeat the Reed Spring Wolves 42-7 here tonight. And now they move on to the final week of the regular season, a road game next Friday night as they head north to Barton County to take on the Lamar Tigers. Cassville 42, Reed Spring 7. We will step aside and be back with the postgame show. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Wolves. The Wildcats led 21-7 at halftime, and it was 3 third-quarter touchdowns for Cassville that broke the game open. A 7-yard run by Devin Bates with 11:25 to go, or actually at the 11:25 mark of the third quarter, as they got the ball to start the second half. It took them only 2 plays to cover the 75 yards, as a long run by Zach Kanan set up the 7-yard run by Devin Bates, and Cassville extended their lead to 28-7. Then 7:35 left to go in the third. A 47-yard pass from Bates to Bowen Preddy made it a 35-7 lead, and 4:08 left to go in the third. A 30-yard run by Kanan, the PAT by Reese, gives us our final score of 42-7. That put the running clock into motion, and a rapidly played fourth quarter got the game over quickly, and the Wildcats improved to 7-1. And now they will move on to the final game of the regular season next week on the road at Lamar, taking on the Tigers. Reed Spring on the year. They lose this game here tonight as they fall to 4-4 on the year, and they fall 42-7 tonight to Cassville. So a big win for the Wildcats here on senior night. We'll try to get you some other finals from around the Big Eight as we go through the post game. Also going to try to visit with Coach Parnell, and we still have to go over tonight's team stats and individual numbers from this ball game, but a big win for the Wildcats on senior night, 42-7 over the Reed Spring Wolves. We'll step aside, be back with more of the post game right after this. You're listening to Wildcat Football on the Talent Sports Network. The Wildcats win it here tonight 42-7 over the Reed Spring Wolves. It's time now for the post-game interview with Coach Parnell, brought to you by the law office of John A. Leewright. They proudly support the Wildcats, and they want everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk, and to call 417-847-2177. That's 847-2177. Well, Coach, congratulations. The Wildcats pick up a win and pick up your 7th victory of the year.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a good win for us tonight.
21-7, the lead at half, and then you broke things wide open with 3 third-quarter touchdowns. Took your first possession of the second half, took you only 2 plays to punch it in, and that kind of opened the floodgates.
It did, and, the first half went exactly the way I expected it to. Reed Springs is a, physical, well-coached football team, and I knew that we would be in a battle, and it definitely was that in the first half. And we took advantage of some turnovers, especially late with the pick six by Jerome Ewing. But I was really proud of the way our kids responded in the second half, made a couple of adjustments. Didn't think we played bad in the first half, just a couple of things that we needed to clean up a little bit. And I thought our kids came out with great intensity and focus and really took charge of the game, as you said, in the third quarter.
Yeah, and all 3 parts of the game contributed in the first half. Your special teams got a blocked punt that resulted in a touchdown. Then your defense, as you just mentioned, Jerome Ewing with the pick six. Your offense also putting points on the board, taking advantage of those turnovers. And Jeremy and I pointed that out during the broadcast. It was one thing to get those turnovers, but to make them pay with some points is another thing, and you were able to do that both times.
Absolutely. I thought we did a really nice job of capitalizing on those turnovers. Something that we talked about all week is we needed to be able to force some turnovers tonight, and give ourselves some good field position. So we struggled running the football on Reeds a year ago. We knew that defensively they're a pretty talented team defensively. And, I thought our kids did a nice job. The first half was – I told our kids the first half was us not finishing plays like we need to. It's had several missed tackles that frustrates me as a defensive coordinator. Offensively, when we didn't score on the one drive we had, was us making mistakes. A penalty, a drop ball, stuff like that. So, little things we needed to clean up in the second half, and I thought our kids did that.
Yeah, it was one of those crazy first halves where Reed Spring had nearly doubled the amount of plays the Wildcats had run and outgained you by 70 or 75 yards, but you're winning the football game because you had short fields to work with.
Yeah, we did, and they were putting some drives together. They're doing a good job. Get a little mix up that we didn't prepare well enough for. I should put it that way. And our kids found a way to get off the field. We created some turnovers. Felt like we should have got off the field on 3 different series there on the drive they scored on, just missed tackles.
The running game, you only had about 40 yards on the ground in the first half, but your passing game had accounted for a couple of touchdowns, but that sure changed in the third quarter. You had nearly 200 yards of rushing alone in the third quarter.
Yeah, well, you started off with about a 80-yard run or pretty close 70-yard run to get it started off by Zach Kane, and our offensive line, I thought, played really, really well. Especially there in the third quarter, just taking charge of the game. And, we did a good job. Devin did a really nice job reading the option and, took control of the game there coming out of halftime.
Yeah, you look at the numbers. Preddy, total yardage, over 100 yards rushing and receiving, and he had a receiving touchdown. DJ White, 2 more receiving touchdowns tonight. Zach Kanan over 100 yards and a rushing touchdown tonight. All of those guys doing great. Ferris comes in, gets a lot of carries in the second half, contributes with 30-plus yards, and then the job your quarterback did tonight, throwing and running the football, directing the offense.
Yeah, again, we've talked about Devin several weeks in a row and just his progression as a quarterback. And, I thought he played really well tonight, threw the ball really well tonight. Like I said, he ran our offense well, read the option well. I could think of one snap there in the third quarter. I go read it. He just like, I know, coach. Comes right back the very next play, makes a great read, picks up a first down for us. I mean, he is such a competitor, and he's grown so much as a young man. I couldn't be more proud of him.
Well, your defense really changed around in the second half, too. They had been pounding the ball at you in the first half. Their fullback, Cramblett, had 60 yards, and their quarterback 50 yards. But in the second half, those 2 guys didn't even combine for 50 yards rushing.
Yeah, I didn't think we played bad in the first half. We just they gave us, they were trading their tight end a little bit on us and getting some matchup. We just weren't fitting well, didn't tackle well. Made a couple, not even a judge, little tweaks at half. More was our kids just finishing plays, and I thought we played really, really well defensively in the second half.
Yeah, there's several teams running this style of offense. It's a lot of congestion, a lot of bodies in a tight space, and they just look for those little seams to open up, and then they try to break things. but the kids were doing a really nice job closing those holes quickly in the second half.
Yeah, we did. I thought we did a lot better job controlling the line of scrimmage. Our ends, stepped up, played a little better there in the second half. We're starting to get some better fits out of our linebackers, and our safety play started running downhill. And we were being the attackers instead of the attackees there in this, like we did on the one drive in the first half.
42-7, a really nice win here tonight, and a great way to send the seniors out on senior night.
It's a great group of seniors. Been this group. My middle daughter has been with this group, for 13 years senior, and known these kids since they were in elementary school. Watched them come up playing Mighty Mite football. Had them in classes, 8th graders in our weights class, and it's a great group of kids. And the way they've grown and matured, they've been outstanding leaders for us, on and off the field. The character of this group of young men is really high. You know, I tell our kids, when they get in trouble during the day at school, I'm usually one of the first ones to get an email from, hey, so and so's doing this. This group I don't hear much from. They just go about things the right way, and they're fun to coach. And they've grown. They've grown as young men, and it's a good group. I told them before the ball game, this is senior night. It's our last home game, but I'm planning on playing a lot more football with these guys. We want to get better as the year goes on. I think we've done that the last few weeks. We're on the road next week. This win tonight assured us for sure a home game in the first round of the playoffs. So we're going to be back here, and this group loves football, and they come to work every day, and it's a great group of seniors.
They all got recognized and celebrated prior to the game, and then with that explosive and big third quarter, it allowed you to get one of them that got injured into the game, and he got one of the biggest cheers of the night. Zach Marlowe, who got hurt back early in the season and is unable to play, was dressed out tonight for senior night, and he actually got into the ball game.
He did, and that was that's a tough moment for us as coaches, because Zach is a kid that's, man, he's come so far. I tell people he was a small, skinny freshman that played safety for us and stayed with the program and grew, and we moved him to offensive line, defensive line this year, and he came in this year and really had a great summer, and had a big week 1 for us, started week 2 against Catholic, and unfortunately got hurt. And I was glad that we had the opportunity. Coach Weldy did a good job right there of seeing the opportunity to get him in. You can't plan those things. You don't know exactly how it's going to roll, but I was glad we get him on the field because he's a great young man.
Well, now you roll on to week number 9, 7-1, make the long trip up north to Barton County, finish out the regular season against the Lamar Tigers, and you ended their streak a year ago, and I'm sure they haven't forgotten that.
Oh, I guarantee you they haven't forgotten it. We haven't talked about it at all until post-game right there. Our kids knew it was on the schedule. I know they've been looking forward to it again. It's going to be a battle up there. We're playing for a share of the conference title next week. It's a big ball game for us. We haven't gone to Lamar and won since like 2010, maybe 10 or 11. So it's been a long time since we went up there and won a ball game. They're playing good football. They're pretty young, but they've gotten better as the year's gone on. They've, unlike most Lamar teams, they've lost a couple ball games coming into this, but they're a good football team, and we'll be in for a tough test next Friday night in Lamar.
And like you said, there's so much on the game. You've got district implications. You got the conference in the Big 8 West. Besides the matchup with the Tigers and the Wildcats, you want to continue this momentum heading into the district playoffs. There's all types of things surrounding this football game.
Absolutely, and the biggest thing for us, everything else aside, is us continuing to take steps forward and play better football each week. And we started talking about that after the Seneca ball game week 4. We've got to take steps and get better each week. And we've done that the last 3 weeks. I thought we played really well the second half against East Newton. Played 4 quarters at Mac, got a win last week, and then I thought we played well again. So, as a coach, always when playing your best football late in the year, I see us gelling a little bit, getting better. We've gotten a couple guys back from injury, so we just want to continue to take steps forward as we move on.
Appreciate your time here in the postgame as always. Congratulations on the victory. We'll catch up you next week as you get ready for Lamar.
Thanks a lot, Sammy. I want to say thank you to all my senior parents as well. You guys have been awesome for our program. I've loved your sons the last 4 years. Like I said, we still got a lot of football left, but I want to say thanks to the parents and all that they do to support us. And we couldn't do a lot of what we do without them. So they mean a lot to me. And Susie and the girls, I love you, and I'll be home in a little bit.
Again, a visit with Coach Parnell here in the postgame, brought to you by the Law Office of John A. Leewright. They proudly support the Wildcats, and their professional personnel believe in your rights to a fair hearing, and they're representing you with the utmost expertise, integrity, and excellence. Phone 847-2177. We'll step aside, be back with our postgame awards, and then wrap things up here from Cassville. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Cassville. Going to wrap things up, but before we get out of here, we need to go over the final game stats. We'll also get some finals from around the Big Eight and hand out our post-game awards. We'll start off with the stats. Team stats, Reed Spring finished with 46 carries for 226 yards. They completed only 1 of 6 passes for 7 yards for a total of 233 yards of offense. The majority of that coming in the first half. They picked up 15 first downs. They turned it over 3 times tonight, an interception and 2 lost fumbles. They were penalized 3 times for 25 yards, and they punted 3 times for a 44-yard average. Cassville, 28 carries for 225 yards on the ground. They were 4 of 6 through the air for 102 yards for a total of 327 of total yardage. 11 first downs. They did not turn it over. They were penalized 2 times for 15 yards and punted twice for a 48-yard average. So you can see the difference right there. The first half, Reed Spring ran 32 times for 153 yards. The second half, they carried only 14 times for 73 yards. Cassville, the opposite. They had 12 carries for 38 yards on the ground in the first half, 187 yards rushing in the second half on only 16 carries.
Yeah, just you got to love adjustments at halftime and the way the kids came out and responded right out of the chute in the third quarter with a couple of big plays and back-to-back series, put points on the board. So great job of making those adjustments and responding in the second half.
Some of the individual numbers for Reed Spring. Colton Cramblett ended up carrying 78 yards on 18 carries, but he had 60 of those at halftime, so held only 18 yards in the second half. Sean Gross, the quarterback for the Wolves, had 52 yards rushing, or actually 51 yards rushing at halftime. He finishes with only 62 and a touchdown, so he was held to just 11 yards in the second half. And J.T. Bailiff carried for 35 yards on the night, and Nate Cerny had 40 yards on 3 carries. For Cassville, they were led by Zach Kanan. He had the long run that set up the first touchdown of the second half, and he finishes with 114 yards unofficially and a touchdown on the night on only 6 carries. Bowen Preddy had 60 yards rushing on 10 carries. Jericho Ferris, 30 yards on 6 carries. And Devin Bates, 17 yards on 4 carries and a touchdown. DJ White had 3 catches for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bowen Preddy had 1 catch for 47 yards and a touchdown. So Preddy, over 100 yards total offense and a TD. DJ White, 2 touchdown catches. Zach Kanan, over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. And Devin Bates not only ran for a score, but he throws 3 touchdown passes tonight. And he is our Wildcat Player of the Game. The Wildcat Player of the Game brought to you by Fast Trip in Cassville. They're located at 104 South Main. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. And Devin Bates, our Wildcat Player of the Game tonight.
Yeah, just a good job, a senior quarterback running the show tonight and helping lead that explosion in the second half. Had the 2 touchdown throws in the first half to keep that a 2-score lead, but really just kind of guided this football team tonight, and the offensive line did a real nice job. And again, Coach Weldy, spreading things around to everyone. But I tell you what, you throw 3 touchdowns and rush for 1. That's a pretty good night.
Yeah, on 4 or 5 throwing. They didn't throw a ball a lot, but when they did, the ball was right where it needed to be.
Right, very accurate and very efficient.
So Devin Bates, our Wildcat Player of the Game. Our hard hit of the night is brought to you by B&K Auto Body. They offer you car rental, 24-hour towing, and certified technicians when your vehicle has been smashed by a hard hit. They also offer free computerized estimates. B&K Auto Body, phone 847-3990. That goes to Carson Jacobson. He gets our hard hit of the night. He had that big hit on the ball carrier in the second half, and he wins our hard hit of the night.
You know, as physical as this game was out there tonight, that we had several to pick from. Sometimes we, depending on where the field is, hard for us to see, who's really getting in there and putting those big hits on. And Carson just happened to have one right in the middle of the football field, situation where leading ball carrier for the Wolves kind of bounced off a tackle and tried to turn upfield, and Jacobson in that linebacker position put that face mask just right between his numbers. Big shot right in the middle of the football field and brought him down.
So Carson Jacobson, our hard hit of the night, brought to you by B&K Auto Body. They have nearly 20 years of experience in fixing hard-hit vehicles like new again, using digital imaging, a downdraft paint booth, and free computerized estimates. Phone B&K Auto Body, 847-3990. Next week, week number 9. We're already 1 week away from being through with the regular season. They head to Barton County to take on Lamar. What a game that was a year ago here in Cassville. The Wildcats ending the 55-plus game winning streak by the Lamar Tigers on that last-second field goal by Drake Reese. Now they get to go to their place to take on Lamar. And as Coach Parnell was talking about, a lot riding on that game with the Big 8 West implications. And then you want to close out the regular season with some momentum going into district. So a big game next Friday night up in Lamar.
Well, this Wildcat football team has been gaining momentum the last 3 weeks. Offense scoring a lot of points, defense not giving up much. So they're heading up to Barton County at a good time. They should be feeling pretty good about their football team. And as Coach Parnell said, they hope to get a couple of injured Wildcats back for that game too. And Lamar's Lamar. They're going to be tough. They're very big, and they're going to be a good football team, especially on their home field. But Wildcats are going to go to work on Monday and get ready to make that trip and play some competitive football.
Well, with the running clock here in the second half, we only have 3 finals to report on around the Big 8. The other 3 games are late in the fourth quarter. But a lot of points scored tonight here in week number 8 around the conference, as had 49 points combined between Cassville and Reed Spring here this evening. Monette shuts out McDonald County 47-0. That game's gone final. Mount Vernon holds off Springfield Catholic. Boy, they held off Seneca last week, and they do it to the Irish tonight. Mount Vernon improving to 8-0 as the Irish made a comeback in the second half, but Mount Vernon holds on for a 20-14 win. The other final, Lamar, the next opponent for Cassville, they shut out Nevada tonight 42-0. Those are our 3 finals besides this one.
Yeah, the Mount Vernon football team is just one of those that you just can't figure out, and they seem to play even better in bigger games. And tonight getting by Catholic, I believe, even without Catholic starting quarterback, I believe he was dealing with an injury,
out, yeah.
And and that was at Mount Vernon, so a close game. Mount Vernon always tough, physical football team. It's just kind of hard to judge them, but they're sitting undefeated right now, so they've got a good football team.
Yeah, and they battled some injuries. Carson Bowman went out early in the year with the bad knee, so he's been gone, but their defense has been doing the job as of late. They got out to an early lead against Seneca and then held off the Indians, and they did the same thing tonight against Springfield Catholic. Got an early lead, and then the Irish make the comeback in the second half, but Mount Vernon holds on for the 6-point win. The other games that have not gone final as of yet, Aurora and Marshfield, they've combined for 62 points, and Marshfield was leading over Aurora 40-22. Seneca had a 41-20 lead over East Newton, and then Hollister was leading Rogersville 30-12 that game in the fourth quarter. So those all 3 high-scoring games.
Yeah, high scoring. I guess you could say maybe the upper half of the conference, putting up a lot of points and not giving up very many when you see the Lamar and Monette and the Cassville scores. Everybody else giving up some points. The defense is, offense is putting up, lighting up the scoreboard, but their defense is showing some vulnerability there as well. So overall, good night of football, great weather, good nice fall weather for football, and hey, we've got another regular season game to get ready for next week.
Yep, next Friday night we'll be headed north to Barton County. I know a lot of Cassville fans will make the trip up there as well, but for those of you that can't make the trip, we invite you to tune in to the broadcast either on the radio or on WebTV, as we'll be there for the live coverage, Cassville battling Lamar next Friday night from up in Barton County, Missouri. All right, that's going to do it tonight here from Cassville. A beautiful evening has come to a close. The Wildcats celebrate senior night with a victory over the Reed Spring Wolves. We appreciate Athletic Director Doug Martin and all the staff here at Cassville for all the hospitality. And we appreciate Coach Parnell dropping by and visiting with us, as always, here in the postgame. Thanks to all the help back at the studios from Dwayne and Janet, once again keeping an eye on things for us. And we appreciate all of our sponsors for helping support tonight's broadcast. We thank them each and every week. You'll hear their names mentioned again here in the postgame wrap-up, as they're the ones that help support our broadcast each and every week throughout the season. We thank them so very much for helping us get these games on the airway, and they'll be back again next week as we get you the Lamar game as the Wildcats close out the regular season. And it should be a dandy, and we hope you tune in next Friday night for that broadcast. Once again, our final score here tonight, Cassville wins it over Reed Spring 42-7 as the Wildcats improve to 7-1 on the season. Speaking for Todd and Jeremy, this is Sammy Clapper saying thanks for joining us, and good night from Wildcat Stadium.